gamers, and welcome to episode 479 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for December 21st, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is co-host Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Not much, man. Just getting ready for the holidays. Yeah, man. It's already there. It snuck up on me, man. I was like, darn, man. It's like Christmas next week. It's like I just felt like December just started. This is the time of year. I mean, I usually try to rush to because I love the cold weather. But yeah, but it's like, oh, don't you move too fast, man. Stop. Come on, just settle in.
Now it'll be spring in no time, Dominic.
Yeah.
Places of summer again.
Exactly, and now, the NFL season only got 3 more weeks left, so. The playoffs are coming up. Washington, we did win. We barely won. Oh my God, it was scary. Because that team, we scored early, we were blowing them out, and then all of a sudden we couldn't do anything in the second half, and they came back and got a touchdown with no time left, and they had all they needed was a extra point to tie it. They're playing against the Saints, and all they needed an extra point to tie it. But they was going for the win, for two-point conversion, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I said, "Darn, we might lose this. This is unbelievable." And luckily we didn't. But it was like, man, we won, thank God. But it's like, what the hell happened out there? The Ravens blew out their team, so that's good. And now both teams are playing their rivals, their first place rivals. Baltimore's playing Pittsburgh as of today, as a podcast. They're playing on Saturday. And Washington will be playing the Eagles Sunday. So, Baltimore they have a chance to get first place in their division. They can get it. I don't know if we're mathematically out from getting the division, but we're not going to win it. We're not going to win the division. Mm-hmm. But if we win this game, it almost kind of guarantees us a playoff spot. So I kind of want to, I want to win for multiple reasons, but definitely that. I want to say, hey, we're in the playoffs. There we go. But we got we got 3 games left. The other game is against Atlanta and then the Cowboys. So those are 2 teams we should be able to beat. But hey, we lost the damn Cowboys first time we played them, and we should have whipped their ass. Hey, NFL is not really guaranteed. So that's just how it is. So that's it for the sports. The local teams I've been looking at. Kansas City still lost only 1 game. I know Lions finally lost their second game. What else? So it's them and the Vikings are the top 2. Well, record-wise, them and the Vikings are top 2 teams in that division, and they're with the Eagles. It's all 3 of them are at the top of the NFC. Bills, did they win or lost? I think they lost. I think it was I forget, but I know it was either the week before last or last week. I forget, but the Bills, they because they beat the Lions. They had lost the week before to the Rams. So they still looking like probably the best team. Though Kansas City, Kansas City is they don't look like the best team, but they just win. That's the thing. They don't look like the best team in the NFL, but they just win. And it's man, this is wait till the playoffs. See what happens with Kansas City, because they could just be winning 3 in a row, because they just figure out how to win. That's it. They don't win pretty. They don't really blow you out. They just go out and win. That's it. All right. What's going on in baseball? We had there's some more dealings in baseball. People going places. I just know Yankees and Red Sox been making some moves. Orioles, they made some moves, but nothing that you would look at the lineup and say we got a World Series lineup. We can go to the World Series with this team. I'm not saying that unless players that less players are getting better, that much better than last year, or some of the people that we have are rookies or whatever, or are who will be rookies coming up. They're just that good. Like that's the only way. That's the right as of right now. Like we're still waiting for that ace. We still don't have that ace as far as pitching. We did pick up somebody from Japan. He's an older player. I think he's in his 30s though, like almost mid 30s. Maybe it's mid 30s. I think it's 35. I'm not sure, but he's older, but he's good. He was good in Japan. So, and we only got from like a 1-year contract, so it's not like it's a lot of money or anything. So it's not that bad. So it's good to have something like that, but we still need a true ace, like somebody for free agency or through a trade. I don't know, but we definitely need that. Some people think we need another bat, maybe. But I mean that I don't know. Like I have no idea. But I know from pitching standpoint, from me looking at it, I'm like, man, I want to see somebody else. Or I just gotta hope that, man, you guys just gotten better. Like the guys we have just gotten better that they can hold it down. Basketball, the NBA Cup did happen. The Milwaukee Bucks won. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, so they are the NBA Cup champs. And now people can go back to watching boring old basketball, because everybody's just doing pick and roll and threes, and that's what it is. That's what it seems like at all. And I think, and that's what the problem is, because I can't really articulate really what I don't like. I mean. But it is, and now I see why I don't like it, because I was looking at some podcasts on stuff about the NBA, and it's like everybody plays the same. Everybody does the same thing. And I was like, yeah, they do. They do pick and rolls, and then they get a little bit of spacing, shoot a three. And people drive in, you think about do a layup, they pass it out to somebody to shoot a three. And it's like, man, or is this like maybe somebody just drives, it's isolation ball, or they isolate, drive in, they go for the layup, and then, or they go for contact, to get fouled or something. But it's like, it's really just those moves. It's like as far as just shooting regular old jump shots, no, that's not really a thing. I guess analytics say like, yo, you should go take some few steps back, man, and shoot that three. But nobody plays like this true center position, really. I mean, except for certain guys. And the guys who do play, they dominate because there's no really true center. So like Giannis, man, ain't nobody down there. Cause nobody's nobody plays a true center or something like that. I mean, he can take you out. I mean, he can make you come out. So and he could drive in. I mean, he's a special player. He's a huge size, and I mean, and then have the ability he has. And then like Jokic, those guys like really they take advantage of their size a lot. Even though I mean they do shoot. Well, Jokic do shoot threes, but I mean he's good at it, so I give it to him. But they also take advantage of their size also. But it's like some guys, I'm like, man. I mean, I'm just thinking like, if you set your team up, like you can be down low, and like. You could just be getting mad points. Like, yeah, you're not shooting a three, but you're going to score. Or you could pass it out to the guys shoot threes. Like, because they'll have to come down low. That game is gone. Like, that game is gone. And they did a big change for the All-Star game. Now it's going to be a 14 tournament. It's going to be 3 teams of the All-Star teams, All-Star players that are voted in. They will be selected by like special coaches, which is the TNT crew that's going to be doing it. So Charles, Kenny, and Shaq. And then the 4th team is the winner of the Rising Stars tournament. They'll come and play in that tournament. Rising Stars are the 2nd and 1st years of the NBA. Okay. So whoever, because I guess they had that for a while. Or I don't know if it's for a while, but they had a thing that was like a little tournament where they had like small team tournaments, which I didn't even know about because I don't pay attention to the All-Star game much anymore. So they're doing this to really get, because of last year's debacle with just being horrible All-Star game, they're trying to do some incentive. I think there's a cash prize too. And see, and I get it. It's like, yeah, that does hey, it might make some players actually play, you know? I mean, like actually play for something. But then again, I'm on the impression that they're already playing for something. Like, they get paid to play basketball already. And just because the All-Star game is not mean something as far as the overall, like, statistics in a way of, you know, the, like, winning and championships and stuff like that, it's still part of the game. It's because it's like people try to put importance on, like, look, man, the important thing is winning a championship. Really, the important thing is you entertain the fans. That's the thing, is that that's what you are. You're entertainers. This is why you get paid. Like, you don't get paid, like, as much as people can say, like, the pay, like, look, paid, man, you play the game to win the championship. You get paid, and you're there to entertain. Because if you weren't entertaining us, you wouldn't get paid, and nobody would care about the championships. And so for you to try to find them, incentivize them, it's like, yo, you get paid $1 million already. What other incentive do you need? And it's just it's so, look, man. I'm for the players. Look, I'm for the players as far as pay, like, and stuff like that, like, because of how much the owners get. But also know that players have to play too. They have to play. They have to play also. Yeah. And like for them, like, the All-Star game is a big deal. Like back in the day, yeah, those guys, some of those guys, there was a lot more guys who actually cared to do well and like play in an All-Star game and just try to win. Like just you know, they're going against the best, man. So it's like, hey, like you just want to try. And now it's like people saying like, hey, what is it worth it? And it's like, hey, I could get hurt. And it's like I get that, but that's part of the game. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you can do without taking risk. Like, it's always going to be a risk. But that's part of the game. Like, I don't know what else to do. The only thing I can say is play less games, which that's the problem. The NBA doesn't want to do that. That's like, yeah, they don't want to do that. But also, also maybe it gotta be a mindset of the fans and just the whole business model. I mean, I don't know. Is that, look, man, you can't. The guys come out and play, and and you can't get mad if a guy come out and play hard and then he gets hurt. It's like that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, this guy's saying like, hey, they get injury prone and stuff. I mean, if they're injury prone, then that means, I mean, like I said, the best of the best players, they don't. I mean, that's also part of the game. It's like, who can you survive a whole season? I mean, that's just part of it too. I mean, it's about like staying healthy and being good. And I mean, shit happens. I don't know, but basketball is just it really got a problem with that. And being that it's a star-driven league, like it's not a league built on just fandom of that team. Like baseball is really it's a local thing, because they say like local, even like for television, like viewership and stuff, local it's good. Like overall, like just to go by national, like no, I mean it's not great. It might be down from years ago. But local, it's fine because people, they just follow their teams, and basketball just doesn't have it like that. And football is just, people just like football. Like, that's what it is. And people like their teams too. Like, but you don't have to, and it doesn't have to be a star though. Like, you just like your team. Like, your team could not have like a real big time star, but you follow them anyway because that's your team. And football it's fun to watch. Baseball, I mean, yes, baseball could be boring and stuff, but it got those fans, and it got enough for the local team to you go root for those guys. Basketball is a star-driven league. It's just not built that way. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the stars, and that's how you promote it. That's how you promote they promote their games in basketball. And if they're not there, it's like people not going to care. and those guys play like they play like they don't care. Man, it's just it's not interesting. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, that's basically it. Talk for. I mean, I didn't really look deep into the sporting news to see what's really going on. Like, I don't know any controversies. Oh yeah, NCAA football. They did start the playoffs. As of yesterday, Notre Dame beat Indiana, and there's some more games today. So yes, the playoffs have started. This is the first time ever in NCAA, so it's kind of cool to see that. So I don't really have any rooting interest in this. No teams in here that I really like or hate. Really, maybe Notre Dame, maybe them, just because of the whole Christian thing. You know, I probably want them to lose. But the whole Catholic thing, maybe. Yeah, I'd go with that. But anyway, but no. I really have nobody like I'm really rooting for, but I just want to watch. But I do want to see it. Like I do enjoy watching them. Well, though that game yesterday, it was Notre Dame was just they kind of had it in hand, even though they weren't really blowing them out in score wise. You could see the domination from them just while playing. Yeah, so that's it. So any wrestling news?
Not much in the way of news, but I mentioned it last week that I was going to AEW this past week on Wednesday for Dynamite at the Sports and Entertainment Arena in DC, which is the WNBA arena. It's a really good venue. Like it's relatively compact, so I don't think there's really too many bad seats in there. And it filled up pretty nicely. Like initially it seemed like it was going to be pretty bad because that's been kind of the narrative lately, is that AEW's attendance is getting to be extremely poor. Its viewership is down. And walking in there and not really seeing many people and not really having like much in the way of long lines outside, but I guess mostly we just got there somewhat early and, people started to filter in later. Because it was actually kind of cool coming home and like looking on Reddit and seeing like people talk about like how hot the crowd was and stuff. But it was a lot of fun.
That's me.
Yeah. It was pretty cool though. We got to see Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay, which was an absolutely insane match. And there was quite a few other ones that were a lot of fun, but that one really stood out. It was a good time. I haven't really, well, that's not true. I was going to say I haven't really been disappointed with an AEW show, but some of those ones that they were holding at like CCBC, they felt like they were not giving us their all. Like they're like, here's the best of Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor did kind of start in this
CCBC?
area. Yeah, they were doing I was thinking UMBC, but then he's like CCBC. Oh God.
I'm
sorry. Yeah, UMBC.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, not
because I'm about to say
CCBC.
I've been in there.
Jeez.
I've been in that place, and I'm like, I don't know how.
You do that?
That was a damn house show.
Yeah. No, sorry. No. Yeah, UMBC, and they were fine.
It's nice. CCBC. It's nice, but it's not a huge. Not huge.
No, I get that. If things keep going the way they are, maybe they'll end up there, Dominic. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, we're, merely days away at this point of the new year, and starting on the 1st is when AEW is going to end up on Max. They're going to have some of the older shows on there as well as some of the previous pay-per-views. It's not going to be everything, unfortunately, at least right away. Hopefully they'll get there. But just being able to have a place where I can watch it reliably without paying for a service that I don't already necessarily have. And same with WWE, their stuff on January 6th is they're essentially giving what feels like almost a WrestleMania level show there. You know, they're doing CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on that show. They're doing Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Basically matches that very much could have been WrestleMania matches. So that should be interesting to see just how big a spectacle that is. They did just finally announce officially that SmackDown is going to become a 3-hour show, which might have detrimental effects on it. I mean, it's actually been kind of interesting because Raw has been cut down to 2 hours over the past month and a half or something like that, maybe 2 months, leading into the debut of it on Netflix, where it's supposed to go back to 3 hours. And because they're actually doing a good job of stories and stuff like that, all the criticism I've heard is basically it's kind of sad that we don't get to see these people on TV now because there's a limited amount of time. Versus when Vince McMahon was running it, and it's basically oh my God, 3 hours is such a slog to get through. So I'm interested to see how this turns out for SmackDown, especially because with Raw going to Netflix, it definitely seems like they're gonna. I mean, they've already announced that they're gonna be doing a free agency type thing, kind of a draft type thing that they've done in the past, and move these rosters around a bit, jumble them up a little bit. So I'm interested to see what the results of that is going to be, and if that actually produces 2 very quality shows, or if we're going to see the Netflix one get prioritized and then SmackDown on USA being kind of an afterthought and ending up maybe a bit of a slog because it's going to be 3 hours long. Depending on if, let's say most of what anchors that show right now is Cody and the Bloodline stuff. And if they want Roman on Netflix, then, all of that stuff could kind of get moved over to that show. So we shall see. But that's where wrestling is right now, Dominic.
Okay. All right, so what am I looking at here? I guess we get to what we've been watching. So, nothing much between both of us, apparently.
Yeah.
But we did see that new Superman trailer. So, I guess I started off. I saw the Superman the teaser trailer, I guess. And I saw the teaser for the teaser. So that's how I knew it was coming. It's just fucking crazy. But yes, for the teaser, it looked all right. I mean, it showed crypto. I knew nothing about Superman. I mean, this new Superman, except for that James Gunn was doing it.
Right.
That's it. I didn't even realize it was coming out next year. I'm really not in that space of when movies come out and things of that nature. I'm totally out of the loop on that stuff now. So I had just seen it something, I guess, I don't know what website it was on or my phone or something. It said something like teaser, and I was like, oh, the teaser was coming. And then I saw it the next day, and I didn't know Crypto was gonna be there. Seeing him, Jack Superman, I thought that was pretty cool. Also, seeing these other heroes that's gonna be in this movie, you see Green Lantern, which is not the traditional Hal Jordan, but Guy Gardner, and is played by Nathan Fillion, who everybody associated Green Lantern with years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's done the voice acting for that character too. And so it's kind of cool. I guess that's really played home. It's hey, look, Nathan Fillion has been Green Lantern. Now he's playing Guy Gardner, and he's got the bowl haircut and everything. He's got the old style uniform that from the comics he wears. Yeah. Then I see Mr. Terrific, who's in there. He's a character that's not really known in a wide space, but he's. I just remember seeing a comic book, and on it says Mr. Terrific, the 3rd smartest man in the world, and I'm how did they do that? How do you? That was I guess in Lex is the one of the two. Then who was the other way? Everybody just jokes like it's Batman. And it's like, oh well, like how do you even quantify, that as artist? But it's like whatever. But he's like a tech guy basically. He almost, I guess, Iron Man-ish in a way. Like as far as like he owns a company and all this tech stuff and everything like that. And it's always got the T-spheres. I know that they do special things. These balls. And you also see Hawk Girl in there. It's like, okay, it's a lot of stuff here. Lex Luthor's in there. He's played by Beast.
Yeah.
And from X-Men. And
Kelsey Grammer as Lex Luthor.
Oh no, not him.
I know.
But yeah, the other. But yes,
Nicholas Hoult, I think his name is.
And then there was another villain. Somebody said it's in there. I don't know if you saw them. Like I didn't look at everything. I look to see some because people do the deep dive.
Yeah.
So I
want to watch one of those just because I'm less familiar with some of these characters. So
yeah, but I guess there was another villain. I don't know if it was in the villain was in there, but it was just mentioned that's going to be in the movie. So it's like Lex Luthor may not be the top guy or being the top villain anyway, but there's something else with this like going on, but I don't know. But yeah, but something beat up Superman because you see him all beat up at the beginning. But the look of the movie, yes, it looked all right. Like it looked fine to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in seeing this. Like I'm kind of more interested in DC because of just they haven't really done, as well as Marvel. So I kind of want them to have something great, even though, I mean, for me personally, because I feel like, that time is gone. I mean, but time still goes. I mean, it's gone. It's gone from me. That's what it is. It's like, I don't care as much like I did years ago about it. Like now, I mean, for both of them, just like, movie comes out. If it's good, it's good. It's bad, it's bad, whatever. And I don't care about universe building anymore. Like I just want to see a good movie. Like I'm done with that. Like because every time we get to that, it seems like it comes more times than not. It comes from disappointment because it either never finishes or it just turns out not great. Like it worked with Marvel, but that was just it seemed like that's just a flash in the pan. Like I just feel like it's not going to happen that well in a while, or it's the chances of it happening is very low. Yeah. Like because post Infinity Stones and stuff, it hasn't been great. It's been okay, but it hasn't been great. And I mean, but I'm okay with it not. I don't need everything to connect. I mean, it'd be nice to say, like, not anymore. I used to like it, yes. Years ago, I did. I wanted all that shit, like, yeah. But then I said, like, okay, this is hard to do, and it seems like something always goes wrong in things, and it's hard to do with real people. like with like movies, because it's time, and then things change. Then also controversies might happen, and you might have to just get rid of a character or some shit. And it's like, it's like, you know what? That's just too much. Like, hey, if this like animated, I'm like, yeah, you can do it. But if it's like real people, it's kind of hard, and it's got to be a short spurts. It can't be that many years. I mean, if it's, I mean, it's cool if it happens. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying that I don't need it to happen. That's what it is. I mean, like, I don't mind it happening, but I don't also need it. Like, I just want to, if it's like a one-off movie and it's good, I'm fine. Like I say, good. It was a good movie, and that's great. And I mean, for Superman, like, we really have a really good Superman. Even though I did enjoy Man of Steel, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I mean, I know it was really liked by everybody. But we have a really good just solo Superman movie. So I mean, hopefully this will be it. Like, well, ever since I guess Christopher Reeve's movies and stuff like that. And honestly, that's kind of before my time. I was never a big fan of those movies. Now, I'm not saying they're bad, just that I never as a kid, even as a kid, I never watched them. I think I watched Supergirl more than Superman, because I think that was on HBO more or something, and I didn't really like that really. I just watched it because I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Like yeah, the movies superhero movie I didn't really get into was until like Batman. That's probably the first one. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I hope James Gunn. Yeah, the whole team does well. Um, with this, I hope this turns out to be pretty good. What you think of it?
I thought it was interesting that the first thing we see of Superman is him, laying on the ground bleeding and vulnerable, because that's a lot of critics' problems with Superman, right? Is, they always talk about how hard it is to basically write this invulnerable character, and for James Gunn to go in kind of the opposite direction and go, we're just gonna, at least for this trailer, we're gonna start him off in the place where he is hurt, and I guess we'll see how he gets there, I assume. Yeah, I wonder if seeing all of these characters, if that means we're gonna get kind of a James Gunnification of this, where it's just like, oh, here's kind of a mashup, here's your whole squad working together, or if there's a reason why, we see all these guys, and maybe they're just one-off cameos. I don't necessarily expect to see all of them quite frequently in this movie. It's hopefully a Superman movie after all, and not, a Justice League or whatever you would consider it with this group of characters. But yeah, I'm not, I'm not like counting down the days until it comes out. But I'm intrigued by what I'm seeing. I'm positive on it,
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, and that's coming out. What they said, July?
Yeah, July 11th.
All right. And when is the what's his name?
Captain America?
No, this is not a superhero. I'm sorry. The director, the guy who did Batman and Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
I wonder when his movie come out, because he's still not with Warner Brothers anymore, and it seems almost like they went off in bad terms. Because that was the thing with the Barbie thing too, releasing kind of around the same time. It's almost like they did it purposely.
And I'm looking at IMDb, but okay, that was with Universal. I was gonna ask who he did Oppenheimer with. That was Universal.
Yeah, I knew that it was Warner Brothers. Well, it would have made sense because they, like I said, Barbie came at the same time, and that would have been freaking horrible.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a company made a bad decision about releasing something very close to another thing that. Yeah, it looks like 2026 is what they have his. Okay, that's his writer.
Oh, this ain't come out till the year after next. Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, untitled Christopher Nolan Universal Project pre-production 2026. And there's also something here about Memento based on the screenplay in development, but maybe that's not related to him. That's just because it's based on the screenplay that he made for Memento originally. Yeah, apparently they're doing a remake of Memento for some reason.
After the Captain America, what's the next movie that Marvel's doing?
Is it Fantastic Four, I think? Let's see, Marvel release calendar 2025. Let's see, we got What If, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, we got that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon. That's coming out January 25th, so that's pretty soon. But we got Captain America.
Okay, what kind of cartoon is that?
sort of like X-Men 97, but I think it's not like a continuation of the 90s Spider-Man. It's a more
this is on Disney Plus.
Take.
This is not in the theaters.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. So it is Thunderbolts after Captain America. That comes out in May. Then the Fantastic Four comes out in July. And then...
Oh, they come on July. Oh,
yeah, so that'll be the last Marvel movie for next year. But they've got quite a few other shows sprinkled out. And then after that is Avengers Doomsday, which is in May of 2026. So...
yeah, that's that. Yeah, I guess we'll see like when they come out, relative to each other, man. Because that'll be the clash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Spider-Man, Superman will be coming out July 11th, and then the Fantastic Four comes out July 25th. So there's a couple weeks between.
Now then someone needs to move up or move down.
I want them coming out the same day.
All right, so I guess we get to what we've been playing. So what you been playing, man?
I have been playing more Indiana Jones. I am in the Vatican City right now, which is kind of the first place you get to after the tutorial. I am very much getting like Dishonored vibes from this whole thing. It's very much a lot of me like sneaking around, trying to knock out or seemingly in a lot of cases just kill these fascists, because I am taking like shovels and hitting them in the nuts and then just bashing their face in with it. So I think by the time I'm done this game, my kill count might not be quite as high as Nathan Drake's, but it's getting up there, man. But I haven't really, surprisingly, it's been more of like the stealth takedown stuff than the more puzzly stuff that I thought I was going to get out of this. And I don't know if that's just because I haven't played enough to get to the next puzzle. And there was like a side mystery that I started following. I came across like a letter and somebody was alluding to something. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. But so far it's keeping my attention, but it's not like drawing me back in necessarily. I'm not going, I can't wait until the next moment I play Indiana Jones. It's more like I'm having fun while I'm playing this, and it's a good way to spend time, but there's not much more depth than that right now. So we'll see how that shakes out. I did pick up Balatro finally. You know, you and I have talked about it a little bit because you played it and just everybody's talking about it. And I was kind of apprehensive about it being like kind of a poker-esque game because I'm not super into poker. I don't necessarily know all the hands, even though I'm more familiar with it, I think, than I realized I was. But this is very much like poker mixed with solitaire, and like obviously you're playing it by yourself, and then there's the addition of things like the jokers where you're using them to modify the rules of the game effectively and how you score points off of your cards. And it's very clever. I picked it up on my phone because I wasn't sure that it was a game that was going to get me to sit down in front of the computer and like focus on that. And I'm not a huge like game on my phone type person, but for something like this where it feels like I can pick it up in short bips and bops here and there. And that's what it is so far. Like I was initially didn't realize that it had a continuation of your run. But it does, which is great because that would be crazy for them not to do. Expect you to sit there and go through all the blinds, in one run without turning it off. But yeah, so they got that. The only thing I would like to see is, now having played it and realizing how much I do enjoy it, is I would love to see like cross progression across the mobile version and like the Steam version. So then I could play it on my computer when I wanted to just get kind of the big screen experience, and not just lose everything. That was kind of like, I feel like I would have played Vampire Survivors a little bit more on my phone if those two things tied together, so that I wasn't just trying to unlock the same characters and stuff over and over again. Because there's so much content in that game, especially at this point, that like it's not. I just want to keep experiencing new stuff. I don't want to keep going back to the old stuff. I was trying to look into it. I don't know how much of the like indie game tie-in stuff is actually included in the mobile version of the game. I haven't run across it, but I don't know if that's something I like need to enable or something like that, with those like Shovel Knight card faces and Witcher card faces and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely see why, a lot of people are calling this their game of the year and talking about how kind of addicting it is. Cause yeah, it has that thing where it's, I guess it's a roguelike, right? Cause there's a run based aspect of it. And the games go pretty quickly. You can just kind of grind out through these as long as you know like what cards you want to play and kind of the direction you want to go in. But yeah, it's cool learning like, oh, I guess I do know what like a lot of this poker terminology is. And then of course the Joker stuff. And I'm starting to also learn about these other cards too, because there's the Jokers, which are kind of prominent as part of their advertising, but there are also like these planet cards and these tarot cards that are also used to modify your runs. And I'm starting to get more familiar with like how to use those and when to use those. And I think it's going to be really cool the first time I get to the point where I just like break the game and it's like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to lose this because I've got this Joker, and this Joker all, affecting my modifier based on these cards. And then I've got this, which turns my cards into like all of one suit. And this thing, gives me extra points for that suit and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool. So, yeah, that's been it for me. But what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right. So, I still been playing Metaphor ReFantazio. That's basically the game I've mostly been playing. Well, besides occasionally playing MLB, the show. But, yeah, this game, I've finally got to the part that really reveals a lot of what's the mystery behind this world and everything. So, it has really become really intriguing and want to go through the story. Also, I got a couple new characters and like the combinations of the abilities that I can have, because I do like that in this game that everybody can play as everybody's archetypes, which is like they're different. Archetypes have different abilities, so. Like, you got an archetype that could be a seeker, which a seeker is kind of like a jack of all trades, which has all kinds of abilities, really, but they're not just the best, but they're not the best at them, but they have a lot of them. But then you have like a mage, of course, a traditional mage. Then you have the healer mage, and then you have a thief. You have the newest ones I got was a mask and a summoner. The mask is like, you can have masks of different archetypes and have special abilities of those specific ones, mixed with something the mask has. And yeah, and then each of those have their own like affinities, which you can get you can gain that goes special. So it's a lot, and I do like that aspect of the game that. You also can switch. Everybody can play as anybody. It's not just set as like, oh, this one person could just be this ability. Mm-hmm. Though I think there's exception as in like, hey, this person probably be better at it. But really, it does. I mean, so far in the game, really doesn't matter. Who has the ability, as long as that you have certain abilities going against certain enemies. Because some enemies, they are not. They may not be except like magic doesn't hurt them. So you need something with more physical attacks, and then you have combos you can do with your partners too. So you want to do a combo that actually hurts the guy and not like he reflects it or don't do much damage. You still there? Because it did the beep thing again.
Yeah, I came back.
All right. So yeah, and also like doing side quests in this game. Like I'm doing some side quests now. Just waiting the days until this big moment supposed to happen, like a certain date supposed to happen where we're supposed to finish this another leg of the contest to become king. It's a lot in this game, like, and it's also like some of the story beats, man, are deep, like in the way that you get to know the characters and things of that nature. Like I did quite a few side quests of the characters, like, and dealing with their stories and their past and everything. That they were great. Kind of like how Persona did. Like in their games too. It's just in this, it feels a little different because it feels more mature.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this game really deals with like basically like racism and class system stuff here and there. So this is not good for the woke crowd here. I mean, against the woke, the people who are against anti-woke crowd, I guess you say. Say good for them. Though I mean, it's in a simplistic way. This is done, like, because you got your different species, and then they look down on certain ones, and then they'll look at themselves as superior for different reasons. And you're trying to build a world basically where that we all can come together and live in harmony, and dance under the rainbow. But anyway, you're trying to do that, like, because you're a race that's really almost, I guess you play as almost the lesser of the others, because it's not many of your species. They call you elders or something. Which I'm thinking like, oh, elder, really? Okay, what does that mean? And because you look the more human, like what we look like, and they call the enemies humans though, the big monster looking things. And I'm also seeing that, yeah, okay, something's dealing with this, and I have a feeling like me calling elder, it's probably like, I think it's spelled with the AR though, but I think it's gonna mean like elder, like you're like the first, you're like the first the people or something. So I bet you'd be that. So man, it's pretty cool. Just like seeing, like, when I went to the last temple, like seeing things of the past, like kind of connected the dots. Like I'm getting really close to a revelation here of like, okay, this is what's happening in this world. But game is well done. Like, I see why people really liked it. Yeah, like, and I do like that it's a different game than the Personas. I mean, those guys, I mean, they do different games. They do Shin Megami Tensei and stuff like that. I never played those games though before. And but also in those games they have familiar monsters, like Shin Megami Tensei monsters and stuff. I see they look similar to what Persona has. It's like a connect. I mean, I don't know what the connections there really is. But in this, I don't really see a lot of connection in that way. Now, in the style of like having days, like calendar days and stuff like that, yes, that's the same as Persona. Because I don't even know how Shin Megami Tensei plays, really. I don't know if it is a style like a calendar. Like, yeah. I really never watched that game. Nobody played that game. But yeah, this game, it's great. Like, if you like RPGs, I think this is a really good RPG. What else have I played? That's really it. That's really all I've been playing, because this game is long and it's got me hooked. All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014. This is gonna be the last flashback segment as far as games go for release. So we're just finishing. We're just gonna do the whole month of December now. So first up in 2014, 10 years ago, Game of Thrones Episode 1, Iron from Ice, the Telltale game. And this was the Game of Thrones, so it was Game of Thrones like really at its height, man. And Telltale was already doing Tales of the Borderlands. So they had the handful. This is like probably the beginning of really, I don't know the beginning, but the really, you see how they're just taking so many licenses at the same time. And that's probably what really got them to them shutting down. Like, maybe they should just focus on one of these things and not just both at the same time. Like, I don't know how big the studio was or anything, but I'm just thinking that, yeah, they're probably doing too much. I mean, this one, it was okay. Like, the Game of Thrones one was okay. It sucks because it just didn't finish, and because it dealt with a separate family, and you just didn't really see how the ending could have been. I mean, especially with different people dying, depending on what you do in the game. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I played of it, but it wasn't like the top Telltale top tier one or anything. I like Tales of the Borderlands better than this one, and I'm trying to think like how often did these come out? Like, because of them doing these two games at the same time. I forget. Well, we'll see when we start seeing these releases. But yeah, because it was crazy. Yeah, because it was just like the last month or so, we just had Tales of the Borderlands just come out. It's crazy. All right, so also we got Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD remix for the PS3. This is all the Kingdom Hearts games coming out like as of after 2 and after 2 basically, and like it's the HD of those versions, like the one the PSP game, I think it was the 3DS game, 2 that's the only ones I can think of right now on this particular one. But yeah, I played it a bit. Basically, I just played the ones I didn't play. I played through them because I already played 2, and that's when I was like, yeah, this series is it's just not for me anymore. Like, I liked it in 1, and when I got 2, I was very a little confused because I didn't realize you had to play the advanced one. I mean, I guess you didn't have to, but you just would have been confused, like me at the beginning, and been like, well, what the fuck is this? Who is this dude? Who was Roxas or something like that, and why does he look like Sora, but he's not Sora? But it's that series kind of fell off for me. But I mean, it's a big series. People really liked it. All I did was like the Disney stuff, and I kind of wish they would have really done more with that, but they wanted to go all weird anime on us, and that's where they just lost me. I just couldn't do with that. All right. Now, let's get to The Crew, the game that's kind of defunct right now. Came out 10 years ago. I think 10 years this game came out. And now, was this... I'm not sure if this was the always online game, because I think you can still play this. I mean, if it's not always online, you can still play single player. Yeah. But the online is just... It's done. It's gone. Damn, it's only been 10 years. It just feels like... It's been longer, and like usually, like online. I mean, not I say usually, but you would think like an online game would be like, hey, it's still there at the 10 years. I mean, just some type of support or something. Yeah. But I guess because I guess the Crew 2 is just a separate server and everything. Yeah, it kind of sucks. And was there a lawsuit or something? Somebody tried to sue?
Yeah, saying that... I would imagine it's still ongoing because this is relatively new. Yeah. But yeah, because it was an always online thing, and because they took those servers down, so you effectively can't can't play that game anymore. I think they even began revoking the licenses for people, basically, so you couldn't access the game anymore.
So even the single player was online.
That's my understanding. That's right.
This is the Crew for 2014 online only racing video game. Yeah, this is that's pretty messed up. That's pretty messed up. So how about those people who say like you buy disc games? So what does that mean then?
It means the same exact thing. They're not going to be able to play at all.
I mean, no, they got freaking empty ass disc. Like they just freaking just toss it somewhere. I mean, that's why I'm still confused by people still seeing that online. Like I never
in this day and age it just doesn't make sense because there's so much going on in addition to whatever that version is on the disc. I mean, we've talked about it in the past, but even just owning the disc, if you're telling me you're going to play that game after the apocalypse because you can't get online, you're going to be playing effectively a broken version of that game, like 40% of the time, because all of these games are getting day one patches, and in some ways they're getting like substantial patches, Can you imagine being like, huge. All right, I'm going to boot up my PlayStation 3 copy of Cyberpunk 2077 now,
Yeah. Exactly.
Or PS4.
So people just, like, you're complaining the wrong thing, saying like, yeah, man, I still buy my disc-based games and stuff because I can have them. Yeah. And I was like, that's fine, but you're really no different than anybody who buy digital. No. Except for that you actually went out and bought it. I get if you like
having a box on your shelf or something. It's just like an aesthetic thing. But like me, I've come to the point where it's like if I ever find myself needing to move, I just don't want to move more stuff.
Yeah. And it's just that because now there's no benefit anymore. Like whatever benefit that you say like you have, it really isn't. And everybody, and like now there are there some games that are just on the disc or I guess the Switch for the cartridge or whatever. Yeah, but how many games? Thing is, I always ask like how many games have gone like defunct where oh man, I'm glad somebody's saying I'm glad I kept the disc because there was no other way to play it. I don't know how many games are like that, and how many games are even worth it. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean, like, or even good enough where it's like, I wish I did buy the disc. I have not come to that point yet with any game. Like most of the games that I do feel like I wish I can play again, and I play again. They didn't have disc versions of them. They were already just digital. Like the what was the game? It was a game on Xbox Live. I think it was their game because we mentioned it. I forgot. It was that action game, side-scrolling game that Xbox did. I forgot what it was called, but they did not. It wasn't backwards compatible with the Xbox One. It's still not. And I always want to know why. What the hell is it called? It's a beat 'em up.
Oh, beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. 360, yeah. Charlie Murder, yeah.
Oh,
Charlie Murder is never it never went backwards compatible. And it's like, what the hell, man? It's like, and there is no disc version of that. So it can't be like, oh, at least I still have the disc. No. And then if I did, I still couldn't play with the new console. I had to hook up my own Xbox 360, but still, and I probably can still, I guess, plug up my Xbox 360 to play it. But that's going through a lot. But it's just, there's really no benefit for it. Anyway, where I'm at, the Crew, that sucks. That happened to that game. I just think these guys need to stop with the single player online, man. Yeah. That's really what it is.
I mean, to an extent, I get it because like it's the Crew, right? Like the whole idea was like you and your team, your friends are gonna go and drive across the country, but yeah, you got to take into consideration that servers cost money, and if you're ever gonna turn those servers off, you need to let people still be able to play these games. So, at least they said after, the backlash of this that the Crew 2 and Crew Motorfest would get offline modes. That's good, but maybe just start out with that in mind,
Yeah.
Because what are those people going to do with their discs when they can't download the update,
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, where we at here? We at Chivalry Medieval Warfare came out for the PS3, Xbox 360, and I'm assuming PC too at some point. When's the PC one come out? It's gotta be that came out actually earlier. So maybe we did talk about it. I don't know. I don't remember. Because it's the worst
It's hard
version.
to remember 2 years ago.
Darren, that was 2012.
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck? Oh, I think it was a couple months later. Well, this is the worst version. We shouldn't even talked about this, Daniel. Yeah. We shouldn't even talk. Yeah, this wasn't worth talking about.
This is getting chopped from the pod.
The next game we got here, we got I Am Bread came out for Windows. So yeah, you talk about this because I don't know what this is.
All right, so this is kind of a physics-based, mainly a silly game. It's from the same people who did Surgeon Simulator, to give you an idea. And you are literally a piece of toast or bread, and you are...
now I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
just making your way through this world as an inanimate object. And I played a little bit of this, and I thought it was clever, but it's...
Inanimate? That thing look like it's animated.
It's very animate. Yeah, sorry. No, that's the crazy thing, Dominic. At the end of the game, you find out that you're moving the world around the bread. You're not moving the bread itself. Yeah.
Like the spaceship from Futurama.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so this is a cool, clever idea. But it wasn't.
Is this where Ghost Simulator comes from?
This might have been like an inspiring piece of art for that team, I guess. But
Because I see a goat in here.
I don't know that I got to the goat part. I would imagine the goat would try and eat the bread. You gotta stay away from those goats.
Yeah, I got the goat moving weird and a long tongue.
That's just goats, Dominic. That's all. It's just what goats are.
I just want to know, is this something extra added to the game? Oh, here it is, including goat bread. Okay, this is.
Oh, it's a
it might have been put in
situation.
After. Yeah.
Goat bread.
Look, Starch Wars. Now including Starch Wars. Yeah, because look, the bread is fighting in space. Starch Wars, Team Fortress 2. Oh, they ain't have a funny name for that. They could have called it Team Toastress. I don't know.
Team Toaster Strudels. No, that's a completely different product, obviously.
Yeah, darn, look at that. This game is all right. It's $2.59. You get it for $2.59, people.
Oh, wow.
All right. So now we got I thought Tales of the Borderlands already came out. I thought we already mentioned it. Maybe that was on the cover. Maybe it was on the cover of a magazine.
Maybe. Yeah, no, we did. We did. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure we did at least.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was November 25th, 2014. Yeah, November is when episode 1 came out on the PC. What episode is this? That's episode 1.
This is episode 1. It's just
on
for the Xbox,
Live.
I guess.
Okay. God, they spread them out quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we talked about that already. So I guess it wasn't the same exact day, because you and I were talking about, that coming out the same day as Game of Thrones, and that just being absolutely wild that they would do that. But I guess they didn't.
No! I said Tales of Borderlands came out like a month.
Yeah.
Like some weeks before. Yeah, I mean, I said it when we were talking about it.
Gotcha.
All right. All right. So now we got a Wii U game, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, man, and yeah, this was a nice puzzle game. Like this is a cool puzzle game. It's on Switch too, like all the games on almost
Most
all
of
the games on
most
Wii
of
U,
the
except for Zelda,
Yep.
the Wind Waker HD collection. Well, I say
Long
collection, but
rumored.
HD remake.
God.
Um, just keeping that on hand. It's like we waiting.
I want them to show the Switch 2 announcement and then be like, this isn't coming out for several months, but you know what you can play today? Zelda. And it's also forward compatible with the Switch 2. That's what they need to do. That's what I want.
I'm just gonna be mad that it is a Switch 2 game.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Like
want it
it's
to be
exclusive, too.
exclusively a Switch 2 game. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I was like, why? Yes, like, why did you do? You should
All
have
the
been
power
came
of
out.
the GameCube directly in your Switch 2.
But anyway, yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Yeah, it was a nice game. I played quite a few levels of it on the Wii U. I played a little bit of it on the Switch. It's just so many games on the Switch that I just have not finished. Like
Yeah.
Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 3D World, the Super Mario, the newest one, all of them. Even yeah, I don't think I finished any fucking game except for the actual 3D Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. That's the
Yeah.
only one. And well, if I'm not counting you going back and play it after you beat it, that's whatever.
Yeah. Still got to beat the moon, Dominic.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, so I don't know if it's worth it. So that's why I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
I got to the princess. She wasn't trying to put out, so fuck it.
Goodness gracious.
What? She didn't. Like, oh, I forgot. That's what happened at the end, right? Like she didn't.
Yep. She was like, I didn't want to be saved by you.
Yeah.
Go marry one of these rabbits, I guess.
They say, oh, fuck it. I let Bowser go ahead and take you and rape you then, you bastard.
Oh, no.
Sorry, side stuff. Anyway, where we at? Accidentally. I did something. Oh, yeah, here we go. Wow, we going down the list here.
Yep.
Zeo Drifter for the 3DS came out.
Yeah.
What is this game?
This is an awesome, like, a very basic Metroidvania game.
Yes, I've seen this. It's these are
Among
the guys
Us.
from whatchamacallit?
Among Us?
Among Us, yeah.
Yeah. Among Us stole
Before
these
Among
guys.
Us.
Yeah,
Did they steal?
it's very small and a lot of the resources are like kind of reused, if I recall correctly. Like a lot of the bosses are the same, but maybe slightly different colors. But just as a nice bite-sized Metroidvania that doesn't take a particularly long time to beat, and also does some kind of interesting things, if I recall correctly, of going like in the background and the foreground of the space that you're in, because it is a 2D linear plane Metroidvania. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that it was first launched on the 3DS and then came out on the PC and then the Wii U and all those other places as well.
Like Renegade kids, have they done anything since then?
I'm not totally sure. I think they might be the same people that do like the Monster or the Mutant Muds. Yeah, they do the Mutant Muds, and I think they had a...
Oh, I see ATV Renegades for PlayStation and PlayStation 1, but yeah, I don't see anything else.
Yeah.
There's some unreleased stuff, but that was unreleased stuff I see like 3DS. So
Defunct in 2016, unfortunately.
Oh darn. And then Among Us stole their freaking
Yeah, pretty much.
God.
Copied their whole humor, Dominic. Jeez.
Maybe one of these designers or something work for Among Us. Where else we got here? We're still in 2014. We don't want to talk about Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes coming on the Windows.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I guess that's it. We want to talk about Loof Wowzers on Amazon Fire TV, man. All right. So, yeah, that's it for 2014. So now we're going back 20 years to 2004. We got Prince of Persia, Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. And this is the second one, I want to say,
Yes.
game. Yes, because the other one was the one where it's like the dark side, dark you, whatever.
Yes. Two Thrones or
so,
something.
yeah, you tell me about this game, because I never played this.
Yeah, so this is the first one where we get the dark and edgy prince with the emo and the Godsmack song and stuff like that.
There we go.
I still had a lot of fun with this game. I think there were a lot of improvements made to the combat in this game over the previous Sands of Time game. There's definitely, you know, a little bit of cringe to it, and I'm sure going back to it now, it would probably be an overwhelming amount of cringe. But at the time, for someone that was probably not listening to music somewhat dissimilar to what the Prince of Persia was listening to, I had
the music.
I had a lot of fun. What's that?
What kind of, he listened? Oh, they had that kind of music in the game.
I don't remember if it was in the game, but like I think their advertising was using like a Godsmack song.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, or the advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, the Prince had iBuds in or whatever, and he was just rocking out the entire time. But yeah, I thought it was still a lot of fun. I still like this series even as we transitioned into this more emo-esque Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked cool. I mean, I just never got it because I was concerned I was going to beat the other one. I never did because my he lost to Sands of Time. And then I couldn't cheat no more. Like I did infinite rewinds when I kept getting hurt. so I got to a point where I was like, oh, I have to play the game like a regular game. And I never went back. All right. So let's see what we have here. Oh, we got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. The Sith Lords came out on the Xbox. Yes. And I played this like maybe a year later, I think it was. Yeah. I did play this after I played one, also, which was a year later. I got both those games at the same time. Yeah, this was... I mean, I liked one better. Mm-hmm. Even though this one had a very intriguing story, though. Like, it was very, like, mysterious. Like, I was really like, whoa, like, who is this lady? And, like, what's these other Sith Lords? And shit like that. And why do I still have this ship? And I'm not the same guys. Like it was a lot of mystery to it that I really liked, but it at the end it kind of fell apart, and then I didn't know why at the time until like years later until I read like, oh, these guys are cold. Why you got these guys outside? I'm sorry, I'm watching college football, and they showed the announcers, and you can see the guy is this cold, like he is trying to stay warm, and like you see the background, so I know they're not in a booth nowhere. Oh, yeah. So I'm like, oh, they are outside. Oh, geez. Oh, this game has been played. It's played at Penn State, so yeah, and yeah, Penn State's playing. Yeah, it's freezing out there. I think it was snowing yesterday there. I think I don't know. Or earlier this week. But anyway. Yeah, so but the game, it kind of falls. Yeah, I didn't realize like they didn't finish the game. This was Obsidian, right? This is like the first like one of the games like this to start where it's like, oh, Obsidian always seems to never finish. Yep. They never finish their games.
They just do not get the resources that they need to complete their games.
And I was like, oh, so that's why it seemed like it was going good, and then it just kind of fall flat at the end. I was like, oh, what the hell's going on here? But I still like the game overall. I was like, okay, overall, it was still an okay game. It's not as memorable as the first one for me because I only played it. I played that twice. I played this game twice. But I played the first one, man, quite a few times, a lot. And this one, I can remember the ending a bit. I can't remember a lot of stuff in the middle. Yeah, I kind of, it's like almost like I kind of just want to look up the story to see about the game. But man, that was just reminding me that hey, Is that remake still happening? Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic?
That's a good question, Dominic. It doesn't sound like it's, from all the rumors, it doesn't sound like it's being made under Sony's banner anymore, but is still in some level of production.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what we got here? We got The Lord of the Rings, The Battle of Middle Earth, man. This is that, I want to say this is a strategy game. Yes, it's the real-time strategy game of the Middle Earth. It's something that I've always wanted, but I didn't have the PC for it because I like strategy games. I was like, oh yeah, this Middle Earth and things, and like watching the battles like that, and almost like a Warcraft kind of way. I thought that would be cool. But yeah, never got my. Didn't have a PC to play it until a lot of years later, where I forgot about the game. And so it got an 82 Metacritic, so it got decent scores. And it sold pretty well too. I mean, yeah, man, I always thought it looked cool. It's a cool game, man. This is when they were doing a lot with the Lord of the Rings license, but they did a lot of good games too. I mean, I'd say EA did some good things with it. Yeah, because now WB. This is before WB really was its own studio.
Yeah,
Warner Brothers. Yeah, until they got them to say, like, look, man, we're going to tired of giving y'all license out to other people. We're going to do it ourselves. And I mean, hey, they got some good games out of there. But now they kind of are on the downturn right now, except for like Harry Potter. Oh well, the one Harry Potter game. All right. So where we at? Kingdom Hearts: Chain of Memories came out 20 years ago.
Yep.
This is the Game Boy Advance game. This is the one you actually played. So you tell me about this.
Yeah, I played a bit of it. I actually liked it quite a bit because I had always wanted to play the Kingdom Hearts games, and I didn't really get a chance to at the time that this came out. I eventually got a PlayStation 2 later on. But the card-based combat of it was, at the time, somewhat unique, and I thought it was all right, but looking at like the original series and being like, oh, this is, I'd maybe rather be doing that stuff, more action-based thing. It's like you said about, learning about trying to play the other games post this game. It's like, yeah, this is where the like super convoluted aspects of the story really kick into high gear, and you gotta, all these people in the black cloaks and they're doing this and that, and this person's a thing of this, and yeah, that stuff kind of toned me out pretty quickly. But I thought the idea of it was all right. I didn't realize at the time, it was going to be maybe one of the places where the series faltered.
Yeah, I mean they did it interesting, like having that card system kind of battle thing. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you really will have to really judge what cards you do. Yeah. Like you probably like say, oh, you got an attack card, and then you have like cards you gotta really monitor what you have. But the story, it like going back to play it, like it did open up like, okay, this is why this happened in 2, but it also told me like, wow, they went in direction. Why did they go to this direction? Like, why they try to make such a sophisticated story that becomes just too, like you say, convoluted, that it like this, it's, keep it simple. You got Disney characters here. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I don't know what's going, like y'all really just y'all animate up too much. Like, darn. Yeah, it's a little disappointing. All right. Now, so also 20 years ago, Cave Story came out for the Windows. Cave Story, I did
Yeah.
not realize Cave Story came 20 years ago. So that was a
I
remake?
was shocked. Yeah, well, Cave Story Plus is the one that I eventually played probably 10 years after that. But yeah, to see that this had originally come out that long ago, and like this game came out the year that I graduated high school, and I don't think I realized that this game really existed until, like I said, like 10, 15 years later is kind of crazy. It's a very good Metroidvania game. It's similar to what I mentioned with Xenodrifter. This is, a small indie version of a Metroidvania, but this one definitely is a lot deeper than that. Had a lot more story too, because this one actually had story, whereas Xenodrifter very much did not, if I recall correctly. So, yeah, this was an awesome game. It's another example of one of those like one person development team games. So
yeah, you dropped out like 2 or 3 times while talking about that game. Oh man, but I'm darn. I almost have to turn this darn college football thing off because I am feeling so bad for SMU right now. The quarterback for SMU, because it's the I think it's the second quarter now.
Mm.
He has already threw 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Like, so they that's their only score.
Jeez.
That's the only time Penn State has scored. And now they are right there about to score SMU again. And he throws another interception. Luckily, it wasn't for a touchdown, but he threw another. I'm like, goodness gracious. I just feel so bad. I was like, what is going on, SMU? Like, God dang. Oh, man. I mean, their defense gotta be pissed, because, like, we're stopping this team, and y'all the ones who let them score. It's like, y'all scoring for the other team. It's just... All right. Oh, NBA Street 2 is worth mentioning? I didn't think 2 would be worth mentioning. I mean, because we talked about 1.
Yeah. I mean, they continued the series. I don't think that it did much in the way of evolving things too much, but I want to say this is one of the last EA big games. Where is that?
So they changed to EA Chicago or something for those other games?
Which one?
NBA Street for the 360.
Oh shit! No, I forgot about some of these games. I forgot there was an NFL Street 3. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, never mind then.
Yeah.
Screw this
Stop
game.
highlighting these games. You're highlighting all these wrong games, Daniel. All right. Okay, so next game we got Gary's Mod. So tell me what the Gary Mod did, Daniel, because I always see it on... I used to always see it on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I never knew the fuck it was.
So basically it's a mod tool set for Half-Life 2. It lets you just have an open world sandbox, basically. It gives you a gravity gun. You can drop in any sort of models that you want, move them around, and manipulate them. It's almost like a super basic 3D modeling program. But it's still relevant to this day because this whole like skibbity toilet thing that is what's going on now with kids and characters are being added to Fortnite, that evolved out of Gary's Mod. It's basically just a toilet with one of the heads of a citizen, a citizen from the Half-Life city in there, So it's really crazy how relevant even 20 years later this game, well, not really game, mod is.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that Source, man. They that's been that engine has been going, man. And everybody does everything with it except for them.
Yeah.
It's like they did come up with Half-Life Alex.
They did.
They did do that. They did do the HD. Did they do the HD version of like Half-Life 1? Or that was somebody else? That was somebody else, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was somebody else.
Yeah.
Black Mesa
screw them. Screw them.
Yeah. They helped officially support it though. They didn't like shut them down. So like,
well, no, they didn't. Yeah,
they sort of helped out there.
All right, so Gran Turismo 4 also came out 20 years ago. This is the fourth Gran Turismo. I might have played it, but I don't remember nothing about it. Like 3 was really the one. 4, I mean, this was like the end, basically the end of the PlayStation 2 era. Like I was really getting ready for the next stuff, and I was busy playing Grand Theft Auto. I mean, Did I say Grand Theft Auto 4 or say Gran Turismo 4? See, now I just confused myself. But anyway, it's Gran Turismo 4, but I was busy playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so I didn't really care about. I definitely didn't care about this game. Where like, I'm not really big on driver simulators. Like, even though I had 3, and because I love the look of 3, it looked real. It just felt like 4 for me was the same thing. Even though, I mean, I'm sure like the hardcore guys or the people who actually play the game would say, nah, some driving stuff was different. Like, but for me, it's the same thing. It's just because I'm gonna play it the same, as in I'm gonna run off the freaking damn course and just go all twirl all over the place because I don't know how to brake. Yeah, but I know how to brake, but I don't. I basically play like how Cartman was playing when he was a NASCAR driver. But yeah, I mean this. I'm assuming it did well. I mean, usually those games do, but it got 89 on Metacritic. They got I'm done. I'm trying to see the reviews here. Okay, here we are. No, not the reviews. I'm trying to see the sales. Where's the sale? Oh, here we are. It in 2000. It sold more than 611,000 by 2005. It said by 2016. It had shipped 1.27 million copies in Japan, 3.47 million in North America, and 6.83 million in Europe. It's the third highest selling Gran Turismo franchise, ahead of the first Gran Turismo, but behind Gran Turismo 5 and 3. Yeah, I think 3 is probably the best selling one, right? I think I want to say that's the best selling one.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I think that's yeah. All right, so we got a couple more games here. We got well, I'll say this one for last. We also have Electronic Arts. Oh yeah, this was big news. They acquired the exclusive NFL license with all the official players and teams for 5 years, and that has been that's been longer now. A move to get the upper hand on ESPN NFL license. At the ESPN NFL, it sold the most this year, partly because it was only $20. I mean, it was a better game, but it was also $20. Yeah. and they said EA was. I mean, thing is, the NFL offered it though, so because I think like a lot of us were under the impression that EA went out and said, hey, we'll buy your license. But the news has come out that NFL wanted like a bidding war, I guess. They'd want to just sell exclusively. Assholes. Like straight up assholes. Like it's like why, man? Just let it go. These guys buy you and they get the games. Come on, man. And then now we got stuck with shitty Madden for years. At first, it wasn't, because early on, I mean, that's just how it is. Early on, they work hard, but then they're like, we don't have to. we don't have, and so they start taking shit out. Like when I got to that next generation, man, that shit was bare. And then they start putting things that's already in there and acting like, oh, look, we got this mode. So you already had that mode. So you had that mode like in freaking PlayStation 2. And you're up here talking about like PS3 and Xbox like it's new. But yeah, that sucked. That's when it really start with the licensing, and also was the beginning and end for like studios being having multiple people having the licenses of sports franchises, like all of them.
Yeah,
like it was just the end. Like MLB did a thing where it's like, oh no, only MLB to show PlayStation can have a license, but as for third party, it can only be 2K. and it's like, oh, that sucked. And it's tough for me who had a 360 because I was like, I gotta play this shitty ass freaking 2K game because that game is horrible. But that's why I kept my PS2 for a long time because all I was getting was MLB The Show on PS2, the PS2 version until I eventually got a PS3, and then NBA was still good. EA, both of them were still coming out, but then EA just sucked. They got bad. They just been bad in 2K. It wasn't really an NBA selling their license. It was just people just falling off and EA just not being good anymore. I just want to know like what the fuck happened. Like why did you get horrible? Like horrible.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. It's like you can't. It's like what y'all thought y'all could do, which I did was Madden. It's like you got competition. Anyway, so what else we have here? Oh yes, and here's something that's really huge. We got a new system coming out, a new portable system, PlayStation Portable. PSP was released in Japan.
Yeah.
So the PSP is launched. The DS had launched earlier. The DS had just launched in Japan. It launched after North America, which I didn't even know. But so both of them launched, the same month.
Mm-hmm.
DS and PSP in Japan, they launched the same month. We didn't get the PSP until you said March, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, March. So that's So, but even then, that's only a few months after the DS for America. But yeah, Japan. It was like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know what Sony was thinking. Like, why would they even take a chance on that? But I mean,
they thought they had something, Dominic. I mean, they were putting allegedly console experiences in, people's hands.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I still don't want to be nowhere near them. I mean, I guess that maybe they saw that DS and thought it was stupid.
Yeah,
and it's like
I mean, we all did.
This fucking 2 green shit. Bullshit. Luminous was like the biggest game they had at the official launch, like on the day of.
Yeah.
But the Metal Gear Solid Acid PSP came out in Japan, so that was a big seller. I mean, it's Metal Gear Solid and PSP. I want to say the launch wasn't bad. At least I don't think it was.
I mean, people were excited about it at the time, even though there wasn't really a lot of games for it. I mean, the reality is like, I feel like in my lifetime,
the DS didn't have a lot of games either.
What's that?
DS didn't have a lot of games.
Oh yeah,
either.
No, but that's what I was gonna say. Is like in my lifetime, I feel like there are more consoles that launched without like significant games than there are consoles that launched with significant.
Yeah,
games.
It's not like when we were younger. But you know what? But the original DS, it still had the you still could play your Game Boy Advance games, right? It still had the slot for Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see. There you go. That definitely helps. So yeah, so that at least I give Nintendo on that with the backwards compatibility with their handhelds, like on the initial beginnings of it. Yeah, they had that going for it. But yeah, the PSP, I mean, it looked good. It looked cool. Like I used to think like, that's kind of cool. You play like games that look like regular PlayStation on your handheld, and it looked really good on that screen. But I just always thought like I can't afford that, or like I can't get nothing like that. Like I just wasn't in handhelds that much either because I didn't. Yeah. Only thing I ever played was Pokemon, so I was like, I said, I don't know if I want that because the games yes, it's nice to have them handheld, but they don't look as good as the PS2 games I got, and also it's I just want to buy another system. It's like I don't know. It's house like. Do I want to have this? It's just, and like you said, it wasn't a lot of games. So, I didn't get a PSP till years later, and it was like super cheap. And until they had like quite a few games up there. And then I broke it because I sat on it because I had it in my back pocket. And it pissed me off. The screen broke. But yeah, Luminous, I'm sure I played it. I just don't remember it. But I did always hear about how good that puzzle game was up there. And they got a few puzzle games up there. Like later on they get Patapon, and then they get what's that other one called? Loco Roco.
Yeah.
So they get like a few kind of cool games on that system. And Metal Gear Solid Acid, I think I ended up playing that. I did not really care for it. But I know people did like it. At least Metal Gear Solid fans liked it. Let me see. Well, if they did like it, yeah, there's a call because IGN gave it like 6.5. Metacritic is at 75. Not bad. But not like super high Metal Gear, numbers. But thing is that is good to have. Like, hey, we got a Metal Gear game on this new system here. That's yeah, you would definitely want that.
And then it turns out it's turn-based and nobody liked it.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for 2004. So now we're going to 1994. We're going 30 years ago, man. 30 years ago, 94. So I was in fourth grade. And we got Lunar Eternal Blue. Now this is a JRPG. It came on a Sega CD. It eventually came to the U.S. I don't know if it came to U.S. or Sega CD, but I know it came to the U.S. On the PlayStation years later through Working Designs, who seem like they get these old games, JRPGs, they get limited amount of them, and they put them in these big, nice packages, build-up packages, and they sell them, and like it sells for like almost like $80 or whatever. But it comes with like a art book, strategy guide, all this stuff, and it's really nice. And this JRPG was rated pretty good. This is actually the sequel to the first one, which is Star something. I forgot what I said it was. Silver Star? I don't know. Yeah, my friend let me hold the game, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll try this game because I always see it in the magazines, but always see like, oh man, this costs too much. Like I say, and plus the graphics. Well, I see the Nintendo graphics. That's what I say. It's like, man, these graphics look. Oh, so yeah, it's an older game, but it's still good. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So I tried. It's like, yeah, it's all right. And plus my action replay work with it, so I can get my cheats on there. So I didn't have to do the whole like leveling up stuff. But and it had like the cutscenes were all like anime cutscenes. So I mean, back then for me it was cool because I used to love cutscenes. So I was like, oh yeah, nice anime cutscenes and stuff like that. It was an okay game. The only thing I can remember about it was that I did see a naked woman in there, and she was taking a bath or something. And like when your character comes in, she comes in while you taking a bath. Yeah, that's what it was. And she just because she's like some type of being that just came to be, so she's not aware of things like
Decency.
that. Like she just thought like, hey, you just go take a bath together or something like that. Yeah. And you are nervous and stuff like that. That's the only thing I remember because I was like a teen, so stuff like that's like, oh yeah. I think that's what how he sold it to me anyway. The friend let me hold the game. So he said, hey, you see a naked woman in here? I said, okay. He said, I'm sold. So I'm sold then. That's all. That's all. Yeah, I played it. What else we got here? We got a game called Brutal Paws of Fury. Now, is this a good game? It's probably not. The only reason why I put this game up here. Did you look at it? Did you look at the game, Daniel?
I did.
Yeah, I only put it because it's like this furry, like on the covers, look like a furry game. I was like, I've never seen this game before.
That bear is
never
very
seen this
bearish.
game. Yeah, like
it's kind of trash you get on a Sega, Dominic.
And then it's got like this. Is that up the top? I don't know if that's another type of bunny. Is that a bunny up top?
I was trying to figure out what that is. Like this image is.
He has a big cock piece, though. I know that. Or somebody would say that's a cock piece.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely maybe a bunny or a vermin of some sort.
Is that like it's Akuma to his Ryu bunny down here?
I think that's what's happening there, definitely. And this cheetah has a monocle on for some reason.
Yes. But then I go look at the game. It looks like almost like a Looney Tune-ish kind of thing going on here with this fight. It's hilarious. Like that cover is nothing like what the game the game is, and it just looks so silly. Like I see this fox, the bunny's fighting a fox. Yeah, look at the bunny compared to the bunny on the cover, Daniel. That is not the same bunny.
I don't know.
It's not the same thing.
Still quite impressive, a bunny. It's not at all an impressive bunny. Like, what is that?
But that fox looked good though. She looks really good. But yeah, this is like the first furry game I ever seen. Like early on. I never seen this. I never seen this game. It's on Genesis. I don't know the Super Nintendo version.
This guy's a llama. He's the Dolly.
Oh yeah,
llama.
that's a Super Nintendo version of this.
Psycho Cat just looks like.
Actually, I don't know because this cover is a weird Super Nintendo cover. It's almost like somebody could have made this.
I had to print it out for my collection, Dominic, where I keep my cartridges.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, there is one. Yeah, I never heard of this game. Like, you even hear of bad games, but like this is something like it would have caught my eye. Like, brutal pause, and then I would have played it. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are these characters? They don't look like badass. At least they like to try to look badass on the front here. It looks silly as shit. They would have been better off. See, this is what they thought they should have been edgy. Somebody said, yeah, kids like to be edgy and extreme. It would probably been better off to look like Looney Tunes, maybe, on the front.
I don't know. I would have bought this had I seen it, Dominic.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's true. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, maybe you
been
say,
my
like,
awakening. I've been like, look at this cool bunny.
And then you would have played it and said, like,
that they don't have the fox on the cover, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, why do I have the girl? Yeah, they put the man with the giant cart piece up here, but they don't put the foxy lady. That is un-90s. That's weird that's what they chose. And that's why the game sold what it did then.
Yep.
I see a Reddit. Brutal Paws of Fury, the worst fighting game. All right. What else we got here? We got Blackthorn came out 30 years ago, man. I played Blackthorn. It was like one of my father's clients. He had these games and that he had gave my father that he used to have. I probably played, a show was in 94. Maybe it was like, I was either in 6th grade maybe when I probably played Blackthorn, or 5th grade. 5th or 6th grade when I played it. I just thought it was so cool that you could just shoot the prisoners. Like as they were just like they were chained to the wall.
Yes,
you could just shoot them. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, holy shit! You could just kill these people right here, and like they're not enemies or nothing. So I was like, I never knew you could kill.
And what made
people.
it even cooler is you could turn away from them, so you didn't have to see when you did it, and then still shoot in their direction. Or did you just want to look in their eyes, Dominic?
Yeah, look. But that's what I mostly did. That's all I can really remember from that game, honestly. I played a lot of it. I didn't beat it. Because I don't think I beat games at that age.
No. I know.
But yeah, that's what I remember most about that game. Was just I can just shoot people. In there, what is this? John Blackthorn, Pilot Major John Blackthorn. What the fuck is this? Oh, that's Shogun. That's what that guy name was. Holy shit! Yeah,
that's funny. They were inspired by the video game, Dominic.
Yeah. All right. What else is there? But Blackthorn, you play as this. I don't know. I'm about to look up here. You're on a planet called Tool, which has existed for centuries without human knowledge. All of this time, Tool's people have been ruled over by a single shaman who was blessed with all knowledge. Years before the game begins, Thoros, the latest ruler, finds it near impossible to choose between his two sons as the next ruler. Believing it will solve the dilemma, he leads them to the deserts and kills himself. His body becomes two stones, light and dark, and he gives one to each boy to rule their own kingdoms respectively. Why light and dark? I mean, come on, man. The people of the light stone form the kingdom of Androth, and the people of the dark stone form the kingdom of Kadokawa, whatever. But while Androth respects their stone, Kadokawa rejects theirs. Of course, the Darkstone people does, right? I mean, man, come on. And are eventually transformed into monsters by it. And this time, a Kadra named Sarlacc sees his power. He forms an army and blah, 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 blah. 20 years later, Cal, become a renowned military captain and mercenary after breaking out of prison. Facing court-martial, Cal begins having strange dreams and is eventually confronted by Galadriel. He is told that it's time to return to Tool and save his people. The game begins here with Cal setting out to kill Sarlacc and reclaim his throne. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Oh, so the prisoners I shot, I probably shouldn't have shot them. Oh, okay, all right. they probably were my people. Yeah, combat takes place form of gunfights. Both Blackthorn and his enemies can press against walls to avoid incoming bullets. Yes, that was also a thing. Now I remember. Yeah, that was cool because I never done that before.
Could dodge in 2D.
Yeah. Blackthorn. This is Blizzard's game, baby.
They really should have just made Prey into a Blackthorn game.
I didn't know Blackthorn came out in Super Nintendo. Interesting. Wait, this is September. This came out Super Nintendo first. I mean, based on Wikipedia, it said it came out Super Nintendo first, so we're actually a little late.
Game to me.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I gotta. I mean, we gotta look that up, man, because that's weird. I ain't gonna look up now, but that it would come on Super Nintendo first, then the Windows. Yeah, I don't know.
Nintendo paid them off. That's when they were looking for mature content.
Also, a big title, Tekken, was released in the arcades in Japan in 1994. So yes, that the 3D game. 94. So 94 was when we first started seeing 3D fighters, like because Virtual Fighter. When did that come out?
That seems so early.
Yeah, the Virtual Fighter. What was the first release? In 93.
Okay.
Yeah, Virtual Fighter was 93. So, yeah, this is the 3D fighters that started happening, man. And then we got the closest thing we got to play on console that was almost 3D was Killer Instinct. Yeah. Around that time. It was like, oh, that Killer Instinct does not look like the one that was in the arcades. But yeah, we ain't, and not until the Sega Saturn and PlayStation and N64 we start really seeing them. But yeah, man, that was man. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning where I was like, oh my god, Street Fighter is over. I thought it was done, Daniel. Like I really thought, like when I was a kid, I thought 2D fighters were done. I thought it was like, this is it. It's over. Like, even when Alpha stuff came out, I was like, oh, they're just trying to hold on. Everybody, because when I saw Street Fighter EX, I thought that was it. It's like, well, this is going to be it. Mm-hmm. Even though my friend said it sucked, I say, well, he got to get over it. It's going to, 2D's over. Boy, was I wrong. I thought all 2D games were done. That's why I like Cookies and Cream and shit like that, and Kanoa or whatever. Yeah, so when I see those games and people say, I was like, get the hell out of here with this freaking 2D.
On my PlayStation.
Even 2.5. It's like, I don't care. I said that 2.5 ain't enough. You need to go full 3D. Everything needs to be Mario 64. All right. I actually forgot a game in 2004. And let me get back here because of my notes. It was the Metal Wolf game.
Yes.
Hold up. Yeah, Metal Wolf. Metal Wolf Chaos came out in Japan on the Xbox. It was an Xbox Japan exclusive. They got From Software, guys who did Armored Core and stuff. They made this game and they wanted them to make it because, I mean, hey, Japanese love Armored Core, so it's like, hey, make a mech game for us. But they made a mech game that was based off basically American premise. And like you play as the president of the United States and you're going against the vice president who is trying to take over. So so you get this mech suit and you doing all his fights. You know, he's got his own army, the vice president and everything. And yeah, it's crazy. And the whole premise is crazy. And then even the box art, you got the American flag in the background with the mech suit, you know, standing up in a pose or whatever. And it's like, why? If this is this is a Japanese exclusive, why the hell? Like, why the hell is this premise this way? like what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm curious how it sold, but I know Xboxes didn't sell well. But I'm wondering, for the few Xboxes that sold, did this, like, what was the attach rate for this game with those Xboxes? Yeah, I'm trying to see like the is there reception and stuff on it? For Software had the intent for worldwide localization, with a targeted North American release for 2005 with competitive Xbox Live multiplayer modes, and had gotten to a point of making available secret playable demo of the Japanese version through a demo disc in the issue 39 of official Xbox magazine. Software did not comment immediately on the reason the localization was canceled. Journalist John Fitzpatrick believe the game's American satire and themes of terrorism may have given publishers cold feet. What?
That's all we want nowadays.
Exactly. According to Zach Huntley of Kenkeshi Games, that was a Japanese publisher, and blah blah blah. The game's long development period left its release near the end of the Xbox cycle, and Microsoft was already shifting their focus to the 360. In 2018, From Software confirmed that the political climate following September 11 attacks led them to cancel localization. It's 2004, dude. Like we were already moving on. Like, we had some stuff come out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't read the room too much. I mean, I read the room really, like, y'all were a little too behind on reading the room. Yeah, y'all wouldn't. Yeah, this wouldn't done anything. I mean, it probably still wouldn't have sold, but I mean, it wouldn't be because of that. But yeah, I mean, the whole premise is just freaking crazy, though. I mean, it's a funny premise. It's the first quarter of the 21st century. The United States has plunged into a state of civil and economic unrest. The military launches a coup d'etat led by Vice President Richard Hawke, and succeeds in gaining control of the nation's government institutions. During this time, Michael Wilson, a fictional relative of Woodrow Wilson,
my goodness,
is serving as the 47th president of the United States.
Japan's favorite president, Woodrow Wilson.
Wilson realizes he is the country's last hope for freedom. He dons a special mech developed in secret by the military to fight Hawke and the rebel forces, aided by his secretary, Jody Crawford. Wilson flies aboard Air Force One to the west coast of the United States and begins to liberate cities and outposts, traveling from west to east across the country. After retaking the White House, Woodrow pursues Hawke to Las Vegas. But Hawke escapes aboard a space shuttle and goes into a space station, planning to launch a nuclear missile at the United States in retribution. Wilson and Hawke battle in space, with Wilson ultimately defeating Hawke and saving the country from nuclear destruction. Yep. God bless America, people. All right, so that's it for the flashback segment. Actually, like, how much of the time we put on this podcast? Because maybe I don't have to go through. Yeah, maybe I'm good, yo. We don't have to do the top stuff. We got a podcast to go. All right, so now we maybe our next podcast we'll do like either a year review or go over like what was the top games in the past. I do want to just go. Well, that'll be in the gaming news. All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the gaming news.
All right,
and we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. So we're gonna start off. Oh,
sorry.
Oh, you want to say that to last?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. So we're gonna start off with saying the winners of the Keeley Awards or the Game Awards. Because we didn't do that last week because we had a long podcast. So
because there was actual news coming out of his event.
Yes, exactly. So I'm gonna try to skip these ones, like esports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Content creator. I mean, good for those guys for winning. But we weren't one of them. I'll say content creator. I'll at least do that one. Queso won. So congratulations to Queso.
Yes. Invite us on your concerts.
Yes. Now we're gonna start with most anticipated game. The winner was Grand Theft Auto 6.
That feels like a given.
We predicted.
Yeah.
Jeff tried to get Death Stranding 2 on there. He pleaded, but they couldn't get it done. And now he has to sleep on the couch now. That's what Kojima made him sleep on the couch.
Kojima's angry.
All right, best adaptation, which is from like to series, like on either a movie or TV show. I don't see books. Do they do books?
I'm curious. Think so. Not yet. Until The Witcher 4 comes out, and then they're going to be like, we want to give this this thing. So
yeah, like a book or even a comic book. So Fallout 1. So it beat out Arcane, Knuckles. Knuckles, yeah. Like a Dragon.
I haven't seen Knuckles yet.
Man, I didn't hear great things about it. Like a Dragon, Yakuza. That was a movie in Japan or something?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because like that and Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was the anime, show. Right? On Netflix? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like a Dragon, Yakuza, I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. But Fallout 1, that was a great show. But I mean, like, I want to see was Arcane and Fallout. So between those two, yeah, I say Fallout. Tomb Raider, maybe I get a shot. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But okay, best multiplayer game, Helldivers 2 won. As there's some people who are saying, "Oh, this is fixed for Sony." That's what they gave it to them. It was going against Warhammer 40K Special Marine, Space Marines 2. I know it's co-op. I didn't know there was a. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Okay. I'm sure because like they also have Super Mario Party on here, so like it's not just competitive stuff.
What are you talking about? Super Mario Party? You are competitive.
That's true. Sorry. Yeah, that's true. I just think of it as a fun family game we play together, Dominic. We all win.
Yeah, no. Somebody loses.
Yeah, me for playing Super Mario Party.
Tekken 8 was up there, and Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Yep, that's what saying. The people saying they hate on Call of Duty, which I thought was weird. It's like they always do. Best sports / racing game. EA Sports Football Club 25 won. I guess so. I mean, I ain't played none of these.
Still such a weird category.
Why Major League Baseball couldn't win?
Because it wasn't nominated.
But you say having like a racing game with the sports games?
Yeah, like I get that it's a different
what about
kind
WWE?
of a sport, but well, that is also that at least in some ways is an athletic endeavor in a way that like, not to take anything away from racers, especially like F1 guys, like those guys sustain like ridiculous amounts of G's or something like that. So they do a lot of training, but just from a gameplay aspect, even it feels, I mean, I guess they just feel like they don't have enough racing games in most years to really have its own category. So they gotta find common ground somewhere.
And we have Best Sim and Strategy Game. We have Frostpunk 2 won, and it beat out Age of Mythology, Kunitsu, Gami, Path of the Goddess. I'm glad it's mentioned to my people that it was here. Manor Lords. That's a game I've been seeing around. I played very little of it, but it was all right. Unicorn Overlord. I never knew that was a strategy game.
Yeah, it's like a tactics game, I think.
I mean, I played it. I didn't get to that part then.
Gotcha.
I mean, I played the demo on the Switch. I'm trying to think, like, what did I do? I'm trying to think.
Talk to a lot of
maybe
people.
Maybe I just didn't get there yet. See where you got the strategy portion of it. All right. Best Family Game. Astrobot won. It was going against Princess Peach, Super Mario Party, Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, which okay, and the Plucky Squire. If Echoes of Wisdom was actually Link, would this have been in there? Is it because it was a woman?
No, it's because they needed a place to spotlight Nintendo games because they didn't anywhere else, and they still didn't even win the category, which it's kind of sad for them.
Zelda should not have been in there.
No, I agree. Although I would argue that like the Plucky Squire shouldn't be in there either. Like,
okay, yeah, I'll argue that too then. I mean,
the Super Mario Party makes sense as like a shared family game. Astrobot and Princess Peach makes sense for like this is friendly for kids kind of game.
Yeah,
Plucky Squire doesn't really meet that, and Zelda is I
mean, it's like Plucky Squire.
The aesthetic of it.
I mean, just the look. Like if you're just looking outside without ever playing it, I can see people thinking that.
Yeah.
But after playing it, you will see like, oh nah,
that's not this.
Not everybody can play this. Best RPG, Metaphor Fantasio won. It beat out Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2, I didn't really hear much about that game. I think
it kind of came and went.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people liked it, but then there were some other problems too at the same time people had. But I think it was mostly PC. But I look back at that. Best Action / Adventure Game, Astrobot won. It beat out Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Best Action Game, Black Myth Wukong won. It beat out Black Ops. It beat out Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2. Boo. Should have went to Warhammer. Or Stellar Blade.
Dominic, let me ask you this. Does the game of the year does the game of the year category spoil these category winners? Like,
yeah, it does. That's why I don't know why they always put that one first.
So I can't help but wonder it, like, if you can get to a point where you have a game of the year category.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But it's not populated until
I see
the winners of each of these individual categories is. And then I don't know if you do like an additional set of voting from there, or if you just take like the popularity vote of like who got the most votes overall.
I think that's what they should do. Because you're right.
Or at least keep the game of the year category secret, I guess, maybe.
Secret. secret. Yeah, because once you know who the nominations are, you can pretty much figure out who's going to win these other categories.
Yeah, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. Like, you can't tell me Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is the best action adventure game and then have like Silent Hill 2 win Game of the Year or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think Game of the Year shouldn't be. I mean, it's kind of hard for people to say like that, but no, I mean, it'd just be different because it's not like how they are in the movie awards or something like that. Because something can win, they get specific. Like, we don't go into designs and stuff like that really specific with these awards. Like, they could do like cinematography or something like that. Something can win cinematography doesn't mean they're the best movie. Like, yeah, here I think they might can do it where it's like, hey, these are these categories winners, and then the game of the year will be revealed. There is based on what you voted for in these categories.
Mm-hmm.
And how we decide. We got our AI bot here who will tell us, just go through the algorithms and stuff and see what should be Game of the Year. All right, I skipped fighting game. Best fighting game. We got Tekken 8 won. It beat out Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I forgot about this release because I kept thinking the other one that released a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classics, Multiverses. I don't know how I feel about that, about the Fighting Collection. I'm glad it didn't win. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like an easy win for Tekken when you look at the competitors.
Whatever, man. Dragon Ball Z, man. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Let's see where I'm at here. Best VR AR game. Batman Arkham Shadow won. Yeah, been hearing a lot of good things with that. And I think I watched like a YouTube video of it. Yeah, it looks good. Arizona Sunshine Remake was nominated. Asgard's Wrath 2. Metal Hellsinger VR. Maybe I'll do better in that one in VR than I do with the controller. Metro Awakening. Yeah, the Metro Awakening came out. Best mobile game. Balatro won.
Checks out. I approve.
AFK Journey was one. Pokemon trading card game Pocket.
Yeah, screw that
one.
game.
Wuthering Waves was one. Wuthering Waves. Well, I don't know what that is. Zenless Zone Zero was another nomination. ZZZ. Makes you go to sleep. All right. Best debut indie game. Balatro won. It beat out Animal Well, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. Best independent game. Balatro won again. It was the best debut that won.
Indie game and independent game feel, well, I guess it's debut indie game, but they still feel somewhat redundant. Even though I get the distinction, but how often are you getting sequels to a
exactly
indie game?
I feel like, I'm sorry, you gotta do bad. If you're gonna do debut game, it has to be debut game. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that point you just do that. Indie games can win that. Can beat out a AAA for that.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it should just be best debut game, period. Like, don't need to be best debut indie game. Yeah, Animal Well, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Lorelei and the Laser Eye.
And UFO 50. Yeah, these are the same ones that's on that indie show. All right, best community support. Baldur's Gate 3 won. It beat out Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
Which seems kind of crazy because, like, I guess what is community support, you know? Because, like, that's a single-player game mostly.
I think the mods, I guess. I don't know.
So many clean faces.
Best ongoing game, Helldivers 2. It beat out Destiny 2. Darn, Helldivers 2 just came out and it beat out Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, and Fortnite. Damn.
That's not true. Well, like Helldivers 2 is cool, but like all the stuff with the Sony, login stuff, and like versus a game like Fortnite, and probably to an extent, Final Fantasy 14, like Destiny 2, they had their DLC or expansion, but like people weren't super into it. Diablo had its expansion, but that probably technically didn't fall within their like voting window or whatever. But like Fortnite is just on a whole different level.
It really is.
Content after content after content. And it's not just like, oh, here's a new skin. They're doing, these big concerts with Snoop Dogg and just I don't know. It's hard to
stop saying Snoop Dogg's name. Damn, it was some other people too, though.
Sorry, Eminem? I thought that might be a little too cliche for me to mention the white rapper's name. It feels like this should be like, let's retire Fortnite from this category, call it Fortnite's best ongoing game, sponsored by Fortnite, and then you can start giving it to somebody else, right?
Yeah. And it's just funny, for best ongoing game, it could be a game that comes out that year. I mean, it did come out at the beginning of the year.
Like, we haven't seen how ongoing it's going to be.
Yeah. Games for Impact never won, and it beat out Closer the Distance, Indica, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera Zao. Is it how you pronounce that?
Zao. You're right. Zao.
Innovation was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That one. It beat out Diablo 4, Dragon Age. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Innovation and accessibility. Because I was thinking like, innovation. What the fuck did it do? What did it do? Because I was thinking like Lost Crown did something that I didn't even know. But okay, accessibility. Lost Crown won. It beat out Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Diablo 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Star Wars Outlaws.
Tell that to me, who's stuck in that game, because the boss that I'm trying to fight is inaccessible to me. Maybe I need to see if there are other options in there.
Best performance, actually, like the voice actors or whatever performances they do in the games.
Motion capture artists or whatever.
Melina Juergens, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 won.
They had to give that poor woman something after making her show up to the Game Awards for the last 6 years.
Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2, Humberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell for Life is Strange. Best audio design was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. That one, and Silent Hill 2 was nominated, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Astrobot were nominated. Best score in music, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Astrobot was nominated, Metaphor ReFantazio was nominated, Silent Hill 2 was nominated, and Stellar Blade was also nominated. Oh, Stellar Blade got some of the music? Oh, guys, see that. Best art direction, Metaphor ReFantazio won. It beat out Neva, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Black Myth Wukong, and Astrobot. Darn, these were there was no other better art direction. Like, I'm not saying
I think there's a decent swath here. Like, Neva is just
saying
like
there's
your
nothing
super
that was better than these.
Thing.
I'm sorry. I'm saying there's nothing better than these. There was no indie game that had like something that was probably unique looking that was better than these games.
I mean, that Neva's filling that role, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Elden Ring is filling the like, we make weird, beautiful, ugly monsters. Metaphor is like, hey, we're super stylized in anime. Black Myth Wukong is just like, this is triple A, quality. And Astrobot, I think maybe doesn't quite hang here, except for the fact that it is a beautiful game, and it's just kind of, I don't want to say sterile, because it's not really. It's shiny and fun, but it doesn't feel like it's doing anything kind of different than most games.
I would have had Zelda over Astrobot, honestly, if you know art direction.
Really? Zelda?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was pretty cool, that top-down look. But it's already been done, though.
Yeah.
Because of the last game. The game before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right, because it does do the chibi stuff. But yeah, since that's already been done, it kind of loses its effect. That's why I completely forgot, it does something interesting with it.
I mean, based off the games they have up here, I just know. I just feel like yeah, I guess. All right, so best narrative, we got Metaphor ReFantazio won for best narrative. It beat out Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth.
It means there's still more for you to look forward to, Dominic.
Yeah, best game direction. Astrobot won. It beat out Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I'm saying game direction. Yeah, I guess I can see Astrobot doing that. I can see, yeah, between these games anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised that maybe Balatro didn't win this, just because it is kind of such a clever spin on.
You know what? Yeah.
Whereas Astrobot is it is just a very good platformer. You could have released this as a Mario game, and it's
but yeah, that's true. But it's just also with the nostalgia of PlayStation. I mean, I think that's pretty good. That does something.
Absolutely, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, between those two, probably. And I guess story could be part of it too. So it could be something in Metaphor. If you know what Metaphor story is, maybe you say the direction went with that, or what I don't even know what direction Rebirth is taking with that. Black Myth Wukong, the direction of just fighting big bosses and not a traditional regular action game. Yeah. I don't know what to say about Elden Ring. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, for me, I guess. I mean, I just gotta take somebody's word for it.
Yeah. They won that already. Get out of here.
Yeah. Game of the year, Astrobot won, as we mentioned before. We beat out Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Yeah, so that was the Game Awards. Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was really really nothing you would call controversial, except for just a Shadow of the Erd Tree. But we're past that, and it didn't win.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for some people it is, but for us it isn't. Some people will say Astrobot shouldn't win. It wasn't that special. Those people, I mean, okay. I mean, I hope they get over it.
Looking at this list, though, Metaphor seems really cool. Final Fantasy VII, I know, was getting super high scores. I'm surprised at how we're getting to the point where it seems like people have kind of turned off on that, because when that game came out, I was seeing high 9s and 10s talking about it being amazing, and by the end of the year we aren't really having it in any of these conversations as much. Black Myth Wukong seems like a well done one of those, but it doesn't necessarily seem like it's bringing a lot new to the table. Balatro, I think in a lot of ways has has things working against it being just kind of a quote unquote simplistic card game. Even though I think there's a lot of depth to it there, and obviously it's not, one of these grand, it's not an Elden Ring even expansion. It's not a Black Myth Wukong. But does prove that like a very clever indie can stand, amongst these giants. Yeah, and I think Astrobot in a lot of ways is just a very special package. It's a good-looking game. It's a well-designed game. It's a great playing game. And then, like you said, it also brings in all of that PlayStation nostalgia. It's hard to compete against for these other games, I would say.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I think it's a good year. It's a lot of games that wasn't even mentioned that were pretty good. That came out this year. There's a lot of indie games that I need to really check out on. And including some on this list. I mean, I played like Neva or Animal Well. I can play. I played some of Animal Well. Just haven't gotten far in it.
Yeah, it's one I'd like to go back to too.
It's I mean, this was overall was a good year. It was a good year.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good year. Like the games I played, I mean, were very time consuming. I would say that. So
yeah,
that there's that. Yeah, and this was a good show overall. Like watching a show. I mean, I didn't really watch it straight through, but I watched majority. It was an alright show.
Yeah.
All right. So, what little bit of news we got, man?
All right, Dominic. First up, this is kind of a follow-up to a previous story we had. Sony is now the largest shareholder for FromSoft's parent company, Kadokawa. There were rumors that they were going to try and purchase them. And I think that was it went from rumors to actually being officially confirmed by both parties that there was like a letter of intent to purchase. But it sounds like that has changed. Sony now owns around 10% of Kadokawa, which is the single largest owning portion of the company, but not like a controlling stake or anything. But they have agreed to a strategic capital and business alliance. So it sounds like they are going to work with both of their intentions in mind. So, that may still mean some bad stuff for people that want these games on other platforms. But hopefully Sony's smart enough to know that money is money, whether it's coming from someone buying the game for Xbox or buying it elsewhere.
Dirty money. That's dirty money for them.
Because Xbox is kind of very much realizing
they'll
that
stick
at this
with PC
point.
and release it a year later, year or so later.
Yeah. I know a lot of talk around this also was that it wasn't even so much about like a FromSoft thing. They just happened to be kind of collateral in this larger vision of like Sony trying to get all of the anime related properties that Kadokawa has also because of, them owning Crunchyroll and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope this works out for everyone involved, and by that I mean mostly the
you ever had a Crunchyroll
purchasing that with it? Have I ever had a Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I don't know either. If there's not an egg roll, then I haven't had one.
I wasn't sure which direction you were talking about, Dominic. If you were talking about an egg roll or a food item, or if you were just asking me if I had a Crunchyroll account at some point in time.
You're talking. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like, is he doing a bit about food? I can't tell. But the answer, I believe, is still no to both. I might have made a Crunchyroll account like in early 360 days or something like that, as like free trial.
I had a
or
Crunchyroll
something.
account. I had a couple of them because the free ones, like free for months, and I did that. Yeah, I'm looking at it
reporting you
now.
for fraud.
Oh, it's like a sushi. It's like a sushi, and it's crunchy. Almost
Yeah, I don't
like
know if I like the
crunchy
sound of
bits
that.
on top. I know my
Does it
sister
have like
always
dry
liked
seaweed on
sushi.
it?
She likes sushi. Not on it. I don't know what the crunchy flakes are. I mean, I don't know if it's just fried or whatever. Oh well, see, it's different ones. It's not because I see one where like I guess it's crunchy inside of it. I mean, it look like the shrimp tail is inside.
I'm looking at this now.
The sushi.
That looks okay. I'm not a.
I mean, it looks fine. Like I know my sister, she likes sushi, which I don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you like what you like. For me, I can eat sushi. Like I don't. I'm not like I had sushi and it's okay. I had the cheap kind and the not so cheap kind.
But
I wouldn't call it expensive. I wouldn't call it expensive or anything. I wouldn't call like. But
you're not going to Nobu or whatever those places are in California they talk about.
But yeah, it's not like that. But yeah, I've tasted it and they I mean it's fine, but I'm never in the like if it's like we're going out to eat, I'm never going to be like I want the sushi. Like that's going to have to be like a appetizer or something for me. And then even at that, if I got other choices, I'm taking the other choices.
Yeah.
It's like somebody had to buy for me. It's never that good for me to like get on my own. That's the thing. It's like one of those foods where I don't mind it. It's like, oh yeah, this tastes all right. But I never if I see onion rings, I'm gonna pick the onion rings. Like that's just how it is. It's like it's never something that can replace my traditional like kind of American food. Yeah. It's not that good. It's like something I
fried.
Hey, I hope you order it. That's what I'll be hopeless. I hope somebody else order it. That's the only way I'm going to be eating it. Because I'm just going. I always feel like I regret it. I would regret it. I was just like, oh, I got the sushi. It's oh shit, man. Why didn't you get the fucking onion rings?
Like this tastes okay, but man, I know what an onion ring tastes like, and now I miss the taste of that.
And I'll be full. At least that fried stuff will fill me up.
Yeah. All right, Dominic. Then the other kind of aspect of this that I was alluding to during that was Xbox is working on a cross-system interface, allegedly. This makes a lot of sense to me if what they mean by that is a way to log into your Xbox ecosystem from different places, whether it be on the PC or the Switch 2 or the PlayStation, if those places are willing. A lot of Microsoft's strategy seems to be based around the idea that in the future there will not be a lockdown walled garden on a lot of these systems, because we're seeing on the phones, the judges are ruling against Apple and Android, saying, no, you have to allow these other things in your app stores to allow people to have access to them. And I think in a lot of ways, Microsoft is hoping that will, either entice or make Sony realize they should probably just open up their system without governments or courts getting involved, or if it comes down to it, that they would lose the case based on precedent because of these mobile situations. So that way Xbox can pivot into okay, hey, you turn on your PlayStation 5, you launch the Xbox app, then you can play Game Pass, or you can download, a game from us directly. And
we won't have to go to war.
We won't have to go to war. They're using like a Blizzard, BattleNet as kind of a frame of reference for this, and that makes a lot of sense. I think they have some of that Xbox integration already in these games that are making their way to other consoles. So having the ability to get game achievement points and stuff like that all just kind of makes sense with the direction that they seem to be heading. So.
Yeah, I was seeing people online, and like I said, like I can never tell how old these guys are, but some of them seem like they could be of an age that I think they need to chill out. But they like just saying that what's Xbox like is cook and losing, and like this is bad. Like them say, what's the point of their console then, and stuff like that. I was like, you still on that? I said, look, like that's like you still on the console thing. It's like for the people who have the console now, like you have it already. Like that's your console anyway, so it doesn't matter. You was gonna get your games on this console regardless. It's really for your next console. What you gonna do? Like, yeah, maybe you don't get it if the Xbox do another console. Probably don't. Yeah. It's like what? Because for you, is it worth it? It's probably maybe it's not. Maybe because, or if you have some device, either a PC or even it's not a high power PC, but something that could play the streaming, or you got your phone. If you want to do your phone, you got PC, you got your soon TVs. Your next TV is gonna have something, probably an Xbox app thing up there. You probably can use that. Or like you said, well, now that Xbox is going third party with the games, if you don't care about Game Pass, then get a PlayStation. I mean, that's fine. I mean, there's really no, like, as a consumer, there's really no, like, being complaint in that way. And, like, saying, like, you're, like, the Xbox, they're not making a console. They're still making it available for you, though, like, to play those games. It's actually, hey, I can play their games and have a PlayStation. That's good for you, then. Like, it's like, yeah, I can have a PlayStation, and have the Xbox, possibly the Xbox app or something. Or if I don't get that, they are putting their games on that system too. So yeah. I have a choice or everything. Now, if you're looking at like, now I see these guys, they're not angry about like, oh man, I wish they would just have a console and be more competitive. They're not arguing that though. They're just angry. I mean, they're just talking about Xbox and just saying like how it's just dumb that they're doing this. But not to the point where, like, because they want Xbox to do well. That's the thing. A lot of these people are just speaking out because they're Sony. I guess they're fanboys or just hate Microsoft. I don't know. Because I'm saying, like, what I'm not seeing a lot of is people being angry at just, like, from a competitive standpoint. Like, I wish, like, how does this work? Like, as far as keeping, like Sony honest with their stuff, right? If Xbox goes this route, like that's what I would see a problem with is that like Sony, they still don't have to, they don't have to do much change in strategy because the way Xbox is going, like it's nothing really hurting them as far as it's like Xbox is not hurting them. And it might be just the economy itself hurting, but not Xbox or whatever.
I think if Microsoft gets the ability to sell games directly on their platform where PlayStation doesn't necessarily get a cut, I think that does do something to them.
Don't get a cut. Like how would that? How the fuck would that happen?
Basically, you would have to allow Microsoft to put their store on your console, and therefore they can sell games through theirs, and they wouldn't get a cut. I mean, that's what's happening with the phones.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I agree with that. Then
that'd be
weird. I mean, as a person, I mean, I'm saying if I'm Sony, if I'm anybody, I mean, for me, yes, for a regular consumer, that doesn't matter. But if I'm a person, like I have a platform, why would I want somebody's store? People buy stuff from their store.
Yeah, you don't.
To play online.
You don't.
Why would I want that?
But if you have effectively made a monopoly because of that, then the government's going to step in and force you to do that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. But, I mean, is it, I don't know, is it a monopoly now? That's the thing. I don't know.
I wouldn't necessarily consider it a monopoly right now. Well, it depends on what level we're talking about. I mean, there's a monopoly on their console for my options, and as a as a consumer, I would prefer to have the ability to choose between the Xbox store and the PlayStation store on my PlayStation branded hardware.
See that I don't know, man. I think that's I think it's pushing it. Like it's something with I don't know. For some reason, I just look at the phone differently. I just feel like if you got a console, I shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't feel like it should be a way where I can buy Xbox stuff on their console, and they get nothing. Like that's I don't know, man. I don't
They've
know.
gotten something. They got the price of that hardware in the same way that I can buy a Windows PC and install Steam or Epic Store and not just be forced to buy, through the Microsoft Store. I think that from a consumer standpoint just makes sense to me.
Yeah, I see a PC differently because I don't see a PC as like I'm buying a Microsoft PC and getting Steam. It's the PC is made for that. I mean, I'm sure I know the consoles can operate like that, but I don't know, man. It's that's. I mean, I understand it, but I also like I wouldn't. That's not something I would fight either. I just mean it happens, but I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with like, yeah, you can just do that because then, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like it just comes. So I mean, fine, okay, you can buy it there, but are you telling PlayStation they gotta force you to play it there too?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because I can buy the game from the Xbox app on the PlayStation system.
Okay.
But it shouldn't allow me to. PlayStation shouldn't have to be forced to let me play it there, though. Like you would have to find another hardware to play it on, though. You bought it, but you bought it. That's all you can do.
I see what you mean. I'm not.
I mean, I'm not saying. Yeah, I don't feel like they should be able to force them to do that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
It's only streaming. I mean, it's streaming that's different, but yeah, you're forcing them to use the hardware too. I don't know, man. I think that's
because I mean they're not necessarily asking them to do the development for it. Obviously, whatever the developer would be would do that work.
Because then if I'm Sony, I'm making something where it can't. Like Microsoft, they would have to do stuff. I mean, it's a proprietary something like because it won't be able to run and run on it unless they make their games to be able to run on it, which will be something that they will have to pay them to do.
Well, yeah, and they would. Just the same way that in order to release like Sea of Thieves or whatever, they would be going through the same process of having to release a game on the PlayStation. You could just purchase that version of the game through their version of the store instead of having to purchase it through Sony's version of the store. So, Sony still gets that money too. That's why I don't really have a problem with this. It's really just comes down to who's getting my license for the money. And I believe at least if there's two different options, we may.
Hey, I lost you, man. Like I lost a big chunk of what you said.
You lost a big chunk. Okay.
So
basically
said,
I'm saying, sorry, go ahead. Tell me where I was.
No, because what you left off on was, I heard you said that because I ended off with saying that their hardware has to run it, and then what did you say?
So it would be running the version that they would produce for the PlayStation. So it's in the same way that they would release, let's say, Sea of Thieves, that would go through the same process of creating a PlayStation game and releasing a PlayStation game, in which case Sony would get whatever money that they get from developers to release a game on their console. The only difference would be who I, as a consumer, am paying for the license to play that video game, whether it be Sony in their storefront or Microsoft in their storefront. Because at least if there's two different storefronts there's the potential for competition in the same way that you see with like Epic Store, where they're like, we're trying to compete, so therefore we're going to give you lower prices, we're going to give you free games, we're going to give you stuff like that.
All right. So, okay. All right.
So
all
Sony
right,
will still
fine.
be getting money off of the hardware. They'll still be getting money off of the developers creating these games. There's just the potential that they might not get money directly from the consumers if the Microsoft Store chooses to be more friendly. Now, I would also say, if that were the case, if I'm buying, let's say, the PlayStation 5 version of the game from Microsoft under their store, I would also be working under the pretense that I would be getting a copy of that game if it's available, if it's a game that exists on other platforms, whether it be an Xbox or a PC. I would also expect to be entitled to those copies as well because I'm using their service, which would be another benefit to me as a customer going through the Microsoft Store over the Sony store, unless Sony then said, well, yeah, we've got a deal with Epic where our games come out on, PC as well. So if you buy Horizon Zero Dawn on our system, then you will also be able to play that on the Steam, or not the Steam, on the Epic Store version of this game or what have you. That's where I see it benefiting us as consumers. And obviously it's not, it doesn't allow Sony to make those decisions about keeping everything locked down to their system, but I don't necessarily think that's a good idea for us as consumers. So that's just that's just business. They're going to have to deal with that if they get too far aflung in control of the industry as a whole.
Yeah, see, I misunderstood you because the way you were saying it is like Microsoft has store and like I just buy the games up there and I'm thinking like I buy an Xbox game and I can just play it on a PlayStation and I was like, how you're forcing them to make it work up there. That doesn't make sense now.
Yeah,
I mean, I see what you're saying now.
I'm not making Sony do the work of making a Xbox game run on that. It's all on Microsoft to make that happen. And then it's also, if we were to say, even just like you had mentioned, an Xbox game, if I'm buying a quote unquote Xbox game on there, like I can do on my phone, well, like I will eventually be able to do on my phone, because obviously there's like appeals processes and whatever going on right now through all this stuff. And maybe all of this changes with the next administration. Maybe, it just gets dropped. Although I'm not totally sure how much of this is related to like the EU and stuff like that. But if they're just like, hey, you buy the Xbox version of this game and now you own it and you can play it on Xbox, but if you don't have an Xbox and you have a PlayStation, you can just stream it to this console. Again, I think that is something that Microsoft does the work of setting up whatever that is, either using Sony's browser or needing some sort of like standalone app that then needs to go through Sony approval processes and whatnot.
Yeah, for like third party, especially third party stuff, and since Microsoft is doing third party basically now. But yeah, especially for like third party, I always wanted that. I was like, yo, let me buy your game. I can play it everywhere. And yeah, I get why, like, oh no, they want to get more money, like you buy it each place. But I'm like, man, come on, you gotta change. Like, then if you feel like that's losing money, then change the way you make games. Then shit, make it cheaper, because that shit's expensive. Like, shit changes, man. Like, shit happens. Like, I want to play, and people want to play at different places.
Yep.
Like, I mean.
Yeah. Even like, let's say my Xbox blew up and, I finally decided, well, like, I'm not going to get a new Xbox. I want to build a powerful gaming PC. All my friends have PlayStations now. I kind of sucks that I'm over here. I want to get into that ecosystem. Yeah, it'd be nice if, I own some Ubisoft game and now I can play it wherever I end up playing games now.
Yeah. Or like if I had the NVIDIA, like the Geo4 streaming, it was like, oh, I have this game, but it's on a PlayStation or Xbox, and I have to buy this again for PC and before I can be able to play it. It's like, come on, I just want to stream it. It's like I already have the game. I don't want to buy it again. Yeah. Something like that. Like I want to use this service. Like I'm paying. Like I don't know. I do want that, and I get that. If the store stuff. Because I totally understand that stat from that point of view.
Yeah, because I mean, in the same way, I would expect Microsoft to be willing to accept that there would be a Sony store on theirs if Sony is doing the work to develop an Xbox version of, let's say, Helldivers 2, and then allow them to sell that directly to the customer. So, I mean, that's I don't know that there's much of a reality, at least in the next, let's say 10 years of either of those things happening, but it's an interesting thought experiment, at least following the trend with the way the phone ecosystem is going. So,
well, when are they going to fix that thing for I can start seeing pictures from iPhones?
Never.
And videos.
Never.
Or videos.
That's not happening.
I thought that was in a courtroom.
I don't recall, honestly, because I think there's an option on iPhones now to like increase. I mean, maybe that was the result of it, but like if you are the iPhone user in the relationship of like me getting shitty videos, you have an option to check off that says like increase compatibility versus like increase file size or decrease file size or whatever. You can check that off and then just send people with Android phones regular pictures and videos,
okay. Yeah, I'll tell my sister. I said, you figure that out. If you can't figure it out,
stop sending me trash.
And then you can't. If some reason you can't figure it out because these people aren't technology savvy. I'm like, why the fuck you get an iPhone then? What the fuck, man? It's like it's like you're not even using nothing. Using nothing. You're using stuff like it is simplified. It's Apple it simplifies things, but it's not simplified things for people who have other devices. It's not good for us.
Honestly, I don't even know how much like simpler it is. It feels like it's all the same, but just different. Like, I don't feel like if I gave two people with like a clean slate of either phone, one or the other, that they would find the iPhone to necessarily be more intuitive at this point. I mean, early on, absolutely.
If you're in an ecosystem, of course you're going to know it.
Yeah.
More than the other ones. Yeah. Like, because you've been there longest. Right. Just like when I go on Apple stuff, I don't know where everything is because I never really use it.
Yeah. So I don't know if like I just came in, like give me amnesia, I walk in and somebody hands me an iPhone, I'm going to like be able to manipulate it any better than I would an Android device at this point in time. Because again, early on, obviously there was like such a splinter in Android early on that like stuff was all over the place. These people had this skin, this people had that. But now you have like these Pixel phones and like this is just kind of the way it is. And they're effectively the same layout as an iPhone, and iPhone is effectively the same layout as an Android phone. So yeah. All right. Anyway, that is it for the news this week. It's Christmas time, Dominic. Everybody's going on vacation. There's not going to be a lot of video game news. Potentially, we see a Switch 2 announcement sometime in January, early February, if all of these rumored timelines are accurate. There's a guy on YouTube, Nerd Nest. I saw a video from him where he had gotten a basically what seemed to be a demo unit, one that didn't power on or anything like that, of the Switch 2, and he's showing off, the new buttons and the shapes and the sizes compared to the old thing. Like, we effectively know what this thing is at this point. For me, almost like I'm over the hardware aspect of it. I want to see what software comes along with this. And that's going to be the true like reveal of this system, I think. That and the actual like back end software of like, how is this going to run? Are you going to improve your store? Because there's a lot of trash on there now and it's hard to navigate. Can we do something there? Can I have folders on my main screen so that I can put like my Mario games in this one and I can get to them instead of going into this like sub menu situation? Yeah, just give me the cross media bar from the PlayStation 3. That's all I want. All right, Dominic. Yeah, so that was the news. Anything else for the people this week? We didn't have any news.
I want to see this video. Look like the guy about to throw a chair at somebody in a basketball game.
Why?
I told you just that.
Bobby Knight's back, huh?
I look like a player this time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Bobby Knight, man. Nah, I don't got no other news.
All right. So yeah, no new releases we're talking about this week. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. Podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast. And of course, audio versions on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify, all of those places. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see ya.